Your keister and get to Heister. No one in this area has a better selection to choose from. John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
Are you trapped in a high-rate mortgage, watching your hard-earned money vanish every month? Stop. Right now at Loan Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases. And here's the kicker. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no-obligation quote. Loan Pronto is amazing. Imagine lower payments, more money in your pocket, and a fresh start with a better mortgage. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. Don't let the high rates hold you back. Call 919-381-1760 or go to loanpronto.com right now. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
When it comes to mixing drugs, you may think you have a safe approach, but the bottom line is, mixing drugs is never safe. It can cause serious health problems like a heart attack or brain damage. Learn more at cdc.gov/stop-overdose.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Heading into some sweater weather. Temperatures this afternoon are in the upper 70s, so feeling nice with lots of sunshine. But it will be chilly tonight. We drop down to 50 under clear skies, and tomorrow is cool. Our high temperature only in the upper 60s, again under sunny skies.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 49 points to 46,320.
Coming up with a puck, he's going to draw a penalty, and they score! As Bussy's heading to the bench, it's Walker delivering a laser. Sent across, Dickinson in front, Bussy makes the save! Nikitin holds, and it stays out, then on the follow-through, they'll score! Carrier gets to the rebound. Hall sends it across, Dinkov and drops it, Gostis Bear, they score! Oh, beautiful tic-tac-toe!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. That's what it sounded like on the late night. Canes get the win. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. Could have heard that game right here on 99.9. Could have heard it on the 99.9 The Fan app. You could be listening to this any of those ways. Also on the YouTube live stream. Just presenting you with your options. We have some good news about the YouTube live stream, which we'll get, the YouTube channel, which we'll get to a little bit later on. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, it's Big 3 at 3 time.
Number 1.
You heard me allude to it. The Canes win. The Canes win 5-1 in San Jose. Started at 10, got over significantly later than that. There's a lot of good news out of that game. There's a little bit of traditional overreaction to the early part of the season out of that game, but I think we can all agree it's one less 10 p.m. start for the rest of the season.
On to the next one, baby.
There's another one coming up, but get all the West Coast done so we can enjoy it for the fall and the rest of the holidays. The good. Brandon Bussy. How about it in net?
Who?
Bussy, which I do want to give a hat tip to Trip Tracy, the color commentator, when he hit him with, he's not moving like a bus. I was like, there it is. There it is. As he, it was actually the save he was describing was a really nice one. He saw the whole ice, knew what he was dealing with, kind of baited him in the cross ice pass, and then shut off the angle, got the save. He did a really nice job. But I would almost add, more importantly, the rest of the team recognized what was up, right? They had a guy making his first NHL start in net. They made his job at times a little shakier than you'd like, but overall, easy day for him, or at least an easy third period. He did make some high leverage chances. Again, I thought he was very good. But I also think, with Slavin out, it was kind of a heady social move from the team to put the youngster in goal, because then it became like, let's rally around and let's make sure we get our guy, and it wasn't like, oh geez, we got to make up for Slavin not being there. So it was a good day all around for the Canes. 5-1. The star of the show, kind of Eric Tulsky. Like, the star of the show was the roster depth. When at one point they had 4 goals. I know they finished with 5, and Stankoven went and got 2 points, which ruined my fun fact. Because when they were up 4-1, the fun fact was they had 11 guys with 1 point, nobody with 2. So it just showed it kind of everybody contributed. I think by the end of the night, 13 guys had points. Stankoven with 2, everybody else with 1. That's roster depth. That's everybody contributing. That's blue line. That's wingers. That's centers. That's young. That's old. That's everything. Aside from a few that the overreactions will come for. But the Canes are now one of 2 remaining teams that are unbeaten. Just the Dallas Stars and the Carolina Hurricanes. That's it. Everybody else has at least 1 loss, with, Seattle getting the overtime loss last night. So it's a good start. It's a good start as a team. And it is kind of, I've been quoting Remember the Titans a lot recently. The Julius Campbell, like, I'm not perfect. None of us are. But this team has been perfect, right? There's things to work on. There's things individually that they need to get better at. But they're 3-0. They're 3-0. And that's as good as you can be through 3 games. That's number 1. Let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
The Carolina Panthers looked like they had so much fun the last 2 weeks. Looked like winning football is so much fun that it seems like everybody that was hurt is like, I'm getting in this time. Not everybody, but a lot of them. When it comes to the Carolina Panthers, some important names are practicing today with the healthy folk, the healthy players. That being players we know. Chuba Hubbard. That being players we know. Jalen Coker, players we know. I believe Turk Wharton, players we know. Like up and down. Now, Dennis, I know you have the whole list there. I had it here, but for some reason my computer's not loading right. Who else?
Yeah, Jalen Coker practicing. Caleb Evans, who's a defensive back, special teamers practicing. Turk Wharton, like you mentioned. Chuba Hubbard. The only guy really that wasn't practicing today was actually Pat Jones, who's been dealing with some stuff in recent weeks. But like I said, Turk Wharton, Chuba Hubbard.
That's a lot
of those guys. Jalen Coker.
If the Panthers,
JT Sanders.
Oh, JT Sanders, that's a big one. If the Panthers hadn't pulling out the comeback win against Miami, and if they didn't find a way to beat the Cowboys, today we'd be talking ourselves into it. Today we'd be going, oh, but Chuba's coming back and Coker's going to reignite the offense. That this would be almost an opportunity to be like, things have changed. But since they did win the last 2, these 2, now everyone's coming back and we're going like, hopefully they can get on the train and not change it too much. Hopefully they won't upset the apple cart. The good news, if there is any, is that the Jets, nice little on-ramp for them, right? You're gonna the winless New York Jets could be an opportunity where if you're off, the little rust got to be knocked off, some chemistry has to be rebuilt, you should be okay. If there's anything that the Panthers have done that have kind of caught the attention nationally, it's the running game. It's Rico Dowdle, and there's a fascination with what they're going to do when Chuba Hubbard comes back. Right, the little For those of you, there's an article I really enjoy from Jeremy Fowler and Dan Graziano on ESPN. They put it out I think it's mostly Wednesday, sometimes late Tuesdays, which is just what they're hearing, right? They're insiders in the NFL, and it's, what their sources are saying. And they even updated with nothing on Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard, basically saying they can both get carries. They're both good, and they just list what they've been doing well. And it made the list. I'm like, so you've been hearing nothing. You added it to the what you've been hearing article, but it's really just nothing, right? There's no bit of news there other than the two best running backs on the team will be active and they could get carries once Chuba Hubbard is active. All right, thanks, appreciate it. But how they do kind of ride the hot hand or how much patience they give to one or the other is a big deal. Right? If Rico Dowdle has his first 3 carries go for 6 yards total and they turn over to Chuba and let him get the next 5, I'm not sure that's going to make sense to me because I think Rico has earned the right to get, land some body blows before the haymaker. And then the reverse is true as well, right? I don't think Chuba Hubbard should be judged as we're never going to go back to him if he comes back off an injury and isn't his best self. It's hard to be extremely patient with 2 separate running backs and stay extremely committed to 2 separate running backs, but I think they're going to do their best to try to find a way. I would go Rico first. And we'll debate who and what and where and how that offense can change right up until they play the Jets this weekend. That's number 2. Let's jump to number 3.
Number 3.
There is some college football action knocking on our doors. And not just we don't even always have to wait till Saturday. UNC at Cal Friday, and they're. What do you think? They looked at the Canes and said, "Oh, those middle of the night games, those look like fun. Let's have a 10:30 start time against Cal."
Ironically, in the area where the Canes played last night. Go figure.
Yeah, maybe they'll just I don't know, ships passing in the night into the hotel. They're playing at Cal, 10:30 p.m. Obviously, we know what that's about for UNC, right? You can't, and this is coaching staff, players, everything. With all of the negativity around your program, there's one way to shut everybody up. Play great football. It's the beauty of sports. It's the beauty of sports is what is the greatest trash talk line you can have as an athlete, or even as a fan base. Scoreboard, right? It's perfect. If you want to go show everybody that all the dysfunction that everybody's talking about is not true, if you want to go show everybody that the trust in your coaching staff is there, go play well. Go show, and I'm not saying you got to win by 1 billion, but show that you've taken 2 giant steps forward since the last time we saw you against Clemson. And you know what? It would be fair, and I was talking with somebody today about, as we do in media, what should have Bill Belichick said during the Monday press conference, right? What would be the message if we were his PR firm that we would have said, here's the message, stay on message? And one of the options was they could have just said Clemson's really good. They could have just said, listen, our roster, we're working, we're building, we're getting better. Clemson has 5-6 guys that are going to be, first and second round picks, and we're not quite to the point where we can match up with that yet. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how that would have played, but it would have been a different approach. But if you go smoke Cal or if you go stick with Cal, you can use that a bit more and go, listen, UCF is better than you think. TCU is good. Josh Hoover, that quarterback, he can sling it. We'll see. But you got to go win first, or you got to go play well. You got to go show that you are improving before we'll believe that things are working in Chapel Hill. And then also, Duke has a big game this weekend. At home versus number 12 in the country, Georgia Tech, noon on Saturday.
Top spot in the ACC on the line.
I was going to say there are ACC implications. There are, because Georgia Tech is ranked 12th, college football playoff implications. There are potentially coaching opportunity implications. I'm going to blank on it. I forget. There's somebody who is not me and is not in Capital Broadcasting, was an outside media person, said that if they were Penn State, their first call would be to Brent Key. And I went, that's an interesting thought. Basically saying the way Georgia Tech plays is like the plutonic ideal of Penn State football. They play in practice jerseys. You know what I mean? Penn State, I've always said they look like they play in practice jerseys. Go get an offensive line coach to be your head coach, right? Just lean into it. Maybe that's the case. If Manny Diaz lights up Georgia Tech, maybe Penn State fans start remembering fondly the years he was their defensive coordinator. There's a lot of implications, a lot of things on the line in that Duke hosting Georgia Tech game.
There are a few teams that are still undefeated in the ACC and just in terms of conference play, and Georgia Tech 3-0, Virginia 3-0, Duke 3-0, SMU 2-0, Miami 1-0. Those are the only teams with an unblemished record in the ACC right now. And Duke has to play both Georgia Tech and Virginia this season.
And
win one of those two, you're sitting pretty.
I will give Wake Forest fans, I'll be your voice for a second.
Okay.
Georgia Tech shouldn't be undefeated in the ACC.
Well,
he was offsides. Did I do that? Did I do that well enough, Wake Forest fans? That was me representing you.
I mean, it's another, remember the Titans reference there for you. He's offsides. He's lining up offsides.
Do you know what is one of my favorite lines ever delivered in a movie? When Denzel is yelling at the ref and they grab him and they're taking Denzel back to the sideline and he just yells over his shoulder, "Cheetah!" It's such a fantastic delivery. Cheetah! It's so good. Denzel's the man. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the big three at 3. How much panic is there in the Carolina Hurricanes fandom over the fact that Nikolaj Ehlers doesn't have a goal through 3 games? Everyone's scoring for the Canes. Why isn't Ehlers? Should we get the panic meter out? Stick around. It's coming up next.
When it comes to excellence, sometimes one name says it all. Sound Station and Security.
That's not one name.
True, but Sound Station and Security does so much, our name can't contain it all. We're famous for home theaters, automotive audio and video, and we do full service for your vehicle. Alignments, inspection, oil changes, window tints, custom exhaust.
Is there an acronym for all that?
Don't even try. Just remember Sound Station and Security in Raleigh, Smithfield, and at myhotsound.com.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Goodrow with it now. Trying to stuff it out in front. Bossy! Robin Gaudet. And now Carolina setting this in. Robinson's onside. Robinson, he scores! A little backhander, and Eric Robinson. He stays red hot. His second of the season, and it's a 3-1 lead, Carolina.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Carolina Hurricanes 3-0. Won to start their State Fair road trip last night against San Jose 5-1. Had a guy making his first NHL start in goal. Won anyway. Handily. That's good. Great. Love it. Way to go, Canes. There is a obvious in my interaction with Canes fans, online, in person, across the whatever, just group chats. There's an obvious, I would say, tense nature. There's a palpable bit of intensity in the air regarding, for different reasons, and I would say for wildly different levels of justification. What is actually okay, that's reasonable and that's unreasonable. 3 different players that have yet to score a goal. But I also want to emphasize this. The Canes are averaging 5 goals a game, okay? They are not hurting for goals, which makes it so you feel, and I sense this as well, a little ridiculous complaining about any type of goal scoring when your team is 3-0, they're averaging 5 goals a game, and you still can't get that pit out of your stomach. So I'm going to let you know that I'm gonna go like full this is a safe space. You are entitled to your emotions. I'm going to list 3 players that have yet to score a goal for the Carolina Hurricanes. Nikolaj Ehlers, Sebastian Aho, Andrei Svechnikov. And the reason why I bring those 3 up and say, why don't you add in Martinook, or why aren't you talking about Kokiniemi, even though he was a healthy scratch last night? The reason for those 3 are I interact with everybody, right? We do first goal scorer predictions. And yesterday I sensed it even before the game. And what I sensed was you don't want to feel crazy. You don't want to act crazy, even when you know you're being crazy. Fans are going like, listen, the Ehlers should be the first goal scorer. Nikolaj Ehlers from Aho, first goal scorer. And then the next prediction from a different fan, Nikolaj Ehlers from Jarvis, first goal scorer on the power play. And I got the sense that everybody was going, I wish Nikolaj Ehlers would just score so I wouldn't have this feeling in my stomach that I'm going like, why isn't he scoring? Is it not working? Does he not fit in? Is it not going to work? He's the big free agency signing. He was the highest paid guy in free agency. He's the big apple of our eye. Why isn't he scoring? Why isn't he scoring? Even though it's 3 games. He's skating with people he's not used to skating with, and he's getting good shots. Right? He's not necessarily completely lost out there. He doesn't look disengaged, but there's still that need. You just want to break the seal. Listen, those 3 guys, I think there's differing levels of justification. Aho, I would say, Aho hasn't scored a goal. Got you. Hear it. Level of panic out of 10, minus 1,000. He has 4 assists. He's well over a point per game through 3, and the team isn't in need of goal scoring right now. If there's one thing I've learned about Aho, and it's why I scream that I want angry Aho, I want Sebastian Aho to be a bit more selfish. I talk about that avocado selfishness, right? The stuff, selfishness is usually bad, but a little bit of it is good. Like fats are usually bad, but that avocado fats, for some reason, it's good. The reason why I want the Sebastian Aho avocado selfishness is because so often you get to overtime or you get to a tie game late and he's the one scoring, and I'm going like, okay, you're when it's needed, you turn it on, right? It hasn't been needed, right? And obviously they needed an overtime goal, and he's the one that assisted to Jarvis, and they got the overtime goal. So I'm giving him credit for that. Aho, 0 panic, less than 0. Ehlers, I don't know, neutral, right? If you want to hold your breath until he scores his first goal, it's because it's new, right? It's because it's new. It's no different than you got a new shirt and you love it and you're wearing it around and you just want somebody to say, hey, nice shirt. Doesn't actually mean you look better in it, but it just makes you feel better. The Canes brought in Nikolaj Ehlers. That supposed elusive final piece of that top line. You wanted it, you got it. You just want it to work. You want it to be awesome. I'm trying to think of another example. It's like getting a new umbrella and then you go on like a drought. You're not mad that it's not raining, but you kind of want to use the umbrella, right? It's like you're not mad that the team isn't scoring, but you kind of want to see Ehlers score. You're still happy, he's still working, you're still undefeated, but you kind of want to see Ehlers score. And then Svech, I would throw Svech, you're like a 3 out of 10. And not because of the 3 games here, because postseason Svech was great, but last season we were already building up some concerns with how effective or ineffective he had been. So now starting off this year the way he has, and there was some line shuffling yesterday where he and Taylor Hall flipped. There's so like even within a game that you felt like you were in pretty good control of, Rod is feeling a little bit of like, hey, something needs to shake up here, right? Let's nothing good, nothing bad. Let's just shake it up. Let's switch it up. That is a little bit of confirmation that it's like, oh, we're getting last year's regular season Svech rather than last year's postseason Svech, right? So the reason why I brought up all three, and the reason why I pointed out that there's different levels of justification is through 3 games, there's a million different things going on, right? And it could just be the way the games broke, could just be the way the cookie crumbled. You have to look at every game, every situation as if it's its own beast, right? Aho has 4 points. He doesn't have a goal. He will. Ehlers has a handful of good shots and a handful of opportunities where if he were a half step earlier, half step later, he would have had a really good shot. Or if the person he passed it to was a half step earlier, half step later, maybe they score and he gets the assist, or they get it back to him with a little give and go, and it's those things are going to happen. The spin zone, if I were trying to talk any of you out of your panic, is that 3 of your top scorers, definitely 2 of your top scorers, haven't scored a goal yet, and you're scoring a lot of goals.
Yeah.
That's,
like I said, 5 goals a game.
That's fantastic. That's awesome. That's the best case scenario. You're winning games, and there's an obvious, super likely thing to happen, which is those 3 guys are going to start finding the back of the net in some form or fashion. It can get better from here. And yeah, I don't know if you should bank on like Walker and Carrier suddenly being, every couple of games they're going to find the back of the net. But if they want to, and if those lines are working, and if those opportunities arise, that's fine. Winning is obviously the most important. I do think Aho looks around and he kind of figures out what the game needs and does that. And he's looked around the past few and gone, oh, we're scoring all right. I don't need to be selfish here. I'm just going to keep setting everybody up. I think he's still working with Ehlers. Last point I'll make is this. They're all, meaning the top line, Aho, Jarvis, Ehlers. Super high hockey IQ, right? Super high vision. I don't think it's a surprise that the Jarvis 3 goals have all come late in games and in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do think there is a early in game urgency by Aho to figure it out with Ehlers. So there's a lot of attention going over there. Let's see where he likes it, a lot of observation. Then once the game, like, oh, the cards are down, it's time to go do something. He was like, I'm going to work with Jarvis over here where I know we're pretty darn good. And they scored. I'm more optimistic now than I was at the beginning of the year. And I think if you would have asked me 3 games ago before the opener, if Aho and Ehlers don't score at all in the first 3, are you going to be more confident? I would have said probably not. I would have said I'd be indifferent, hopefully, right? I wouldn't be panicking. But I'm more confident now than I was at the beginning of the year.
Well, you and I talked about it before game 1. We're sitting outside the Lenovo Center praising about how this team has a bunch of depth. They have depth throughout their lineup. We talked about how with the quote-unquote 4th line that features Eric Robinson and Taylor Hall, I remember saying it, that line should cook. And guess what? They're scoring a whole bunch. You shouldn't be upset that the whole lineup is contributing in some way, shape, or form. And also, Tim, playoffs start in 6 months.
Correct.
6 months. You got 6 months to figure this out.
6 months to figure it out. 6 months. And let me think of the best way to put this. You obviously want to observe. You don't even want to start trying to figure it out yet.
Yeah.
Like right now you're just learning, right?
That's all it is.
It's every season is its own new beast. And I use this example all the time. When like a new boss takes over a business and they come in and go, I'm not making any changes for the first 6 months. I just want to see how you guys operate. I want to see the day-to-day. I'm not going to come in and fire anybody or restructure anything. I'm just trying to get to know the business. To me, that's like the first month of this season for the Canes. Before you start making any, you can shuffle, for the second half of a game, Taylor Hall and Svech and flip them or whatever. But to me, you're not even really trying to make changes or anything. You're just learning. I'm just here observing. I'll be in the corner with a notebook. Don't mind me. Of course, everybody's on their best behavior because the new boss is watching. But they're trying to get you to just go in the day-to-day. That's where I'm at with the Canes. And if along the way you want to win like 80% of your games, then even better. The more the merrier, right? Go ahead. Keep it rolling. Yeah, you're right. Ehlers hasn't scored, but Hall, Robinson, and Miller each have 2. Gostisbehere scored. Blake scored. Stankoven scored. Carrier scored. Walker scored. Stahl scored. Like, you're doing okay. And a bunch of them have multiple points, too, and you tally and assists. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. My point is, Aho, minus 1,000 out of 10 panic. Ehlers, nothing's changed, so 0 out of 10. And if you want to throw a couple of points on Svech, 1, 2, 3, whatever, depending on how difficult of a grader you are, I'm okay with that. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on to the Dean's List, Dennis Cox has something for you.
I do. Dennis Cox here for my good friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I have been with the program about 10 weeks, just over 10 weeks now at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I'm down 40 pounds. If you've heard me say this before, I keep saying it again. It's still down 40 pounds, and I've been able to maintain that weight. I've been in what they call the maintenance phase with the Raleigh Weight Loss Center program, because that's the goal. It's not only for you to lose weight, but they want you to maintain it as well. And here's the thing I appreciated the most, and still appreciate the most about Raleigh Weight Loss Center. It's an actual plan for you to follow. So many people I have talked to when it comes to weight loss journey, they struggle and get frustrated trying to figure out, well, what's the best thing for me? How do I eat this type of way? Do I do these types of workouts? Whatever it might be. And people just struggle in terms of figuring out. It gets really frustrating, and it really does get you down. Raleigh Weight Loss Center, they come in right from day one. Here's the plan. Follow this plan. Stick to it. You're going to get results. I've lost 13% of my body weight. 13% of my body weight, thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center and their program. And if you need to figure out if that program is the right one for you, give them a call at 919-897-7506 or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com and set up a free 15-minute phone call. A free 15-minute phone call. That way you can answer any of the questions that you have, or get answers to the questions that you have, bring up any concerns that you may have, ask about how this may impact your health otherwise, get those questions answered. 919-897-7506 or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. 919-897-7506. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, gets to the Dean's List. Coming up next.
Hello, I'm John Heister for John Heister Chevrolet in Fuquay Varina. And people are asking us, how are you selling so many cars all of a sudden? Well, did you know that the Beltline has opened up the outer loop? We're only 28 minutes from Knightdale. We're only 19 minutes from Clayton and 15 minutes from Apex. We're now the most convenient Chevrolet dealership to reach in the Triangle. It's just one more reason to get off your keister and come to Heister.
Now at John Heister Chevrolet, get up to $12,000 off a new 2025 Silverado 1500. Includes trade assistance. See dealer for details. Together, let's drive.
Nothing beats a fairway green lawn. Now's the time to seed your fescue lawn. A lot of people think it's springtime, but that's incorrect. You got to get out there and do a core aeration seeding, put down the proper fertilizer at that time. And if you have a warm season lawn, now's an excellent time to start controlling winter annual weeds like poana. And of course, broadleaf weeds never stop, no matter what turf you have. So it's always a good time to apply the proper broadleaf weed control and your fertilizers. 919-329-0095. Visit fairwaygreen.com and go ahead and request a free lawn analysis. We'll be out within a few days and leave a very detailed lawn analysis in the door. Nothing beats a fairway green lawn.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
One last exhale.
Fitting, isn't it? The final shot at the Championship 4 comes down to a track that's been here from day one. Martinsville. Close quarters, tight corners, and a fan experience that brings you so close to the action, all of the mayhem will be right at your fingertips. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Minso from the shotgun is ready. Here's the snap. He will throw. They bring pressure. He's got time, though. Lofts it. In zone for Barkay. Got it again. Touchdown. His second of the ball game. A little shoulder shake.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for a little Dean's List action. Those that need a little extra light. I'm going to start this all over. I need a few extra accolades, or deserve a few extra accolades, might be the better way to say that, that relate directly or indirectly to the college sports landscape that we hold so near and dear here in the Triangle. This is where we give... My microphone just fell down. This is where we give those that praise.
Do you need me to restart class?
Kind of. I don't know what's going on with the mic there. That thing just... dipped on. There we go. There it is. It's time for the Dean's List. Let's give out some extra accolades. I'll get us started. Caden Fordham.
Oh, from NC State?
Linebacker, NC State. Leads all Power 4 linebackers in tackles.
Okay.
That's just, I feel like linebacker takes pride in your tackling, so I don't know what it says about everybody else in the defense, but for Caden, it's getting a lot of guys on the ground.
If there's a position on my defense I want to have most tackles, it's probably my off-ball linebacker. Because I'm free, if my defensive front is eating up blocks, I'm free to go.
It's a lot better than your secondary.
Yeah. The safety's making that. It's still different.
Punt returner. Wait, what? Anyway, he makes the Dean's List for being near the top there. I'll go with a couple more football players here. Hollywood Smothers and Brian Parker. They are a running back at NC State and an offensive lineman for Duke. The Athletic put out their mid-season All-American lists. And Hollywood Smothers and Brian Parker, both second-team mid-season All-Americans, according to The Athletic. But we have to do a little bit of conversion. Like, when you're going to another country, you got to go convert your money and the exchange rate. Sometimes, dollars worth more or less. A second-team All-American from The Athletic for Hollywood Smothers and Brian Parker, I think is the equivalent of a first-team All-American if you were in the Big Ten or the SEC. Because apparently they just hate the ACC.
Yeah, they do.
They got Reuben Bain Jr. from Miami, who is like a Heisman contender at edge rusher. That's it for the ACC on the first team. That's ridiculous. There's a billion Texas Tech guys alone on the list, and Miami's simply better than them. So I didn't get it, but I wanted to make sure Hollywood Smothers and Brian Parker got their due for being selected anyway to the second team. Dennis, do you have any Dean's List you'd like to throw out here?
I do. I'm actually going to throw out Will Wade and Darian Williams of NC State men's basketball, because Darian Williams voted ACC preseason player of the year, and the ACC on social media actually posted a picture of Darian Williams, hey, a preseason player of the year, all that kind of stuff, and then Will Wade quote tweeted it and said, oh, look, they finally got the picture right. I was like, what? You know what? Well done.
For those of you that don't know, at ACC tip-off, when they had their main stage performance, right? Every team, coach, players get to go up and do a Q&A on like the main stage. They have pictures of the three players that go up on a screen kind of off to the side. And I don't know who the picture was for Darian Williams, but it definitely was not Williams. It was somebody else's face up there. And as Will Wade was 100% a lock to do, he noticed and took it as a sign of disrespect and is going to be bulletin board material. And he said something along the lines of, I'll paraphrase, like, do you think that would happen with Carolina or Duke? And the answer, obviously, wasn't said, but everybody knew. So it was a good callback. Oh, look, they got the picture right. For their ACC Player of the Year preseason. That's a good callback. Another football player, Duke defensive end Vincent Anthony Jr., friend of the program. This is even more funny because he wasn't on that All-American list I mentioned. ESPN put out the top 10 defensive players of the first half of the season. Amongst others, they did a whole bunch of lists and insight and stuff. But they did top 10 defensive players of the first half in college football across the country. Vincent Anthony Jr. was number 6. Number 6 in the entire country as best defensive player. And in their description, they did say if they were to do top 10 players, they broke them up to offense and defense. But in the description for defense, it said if they were to do top 10 players of all positions, they guessed 6 or 7 of them would be from the defensive list. Which, I can do math, right? If they would have had at least 6 defensive players on the overall top 10, and Vincent Anthony Jr. is number 6 on the defense, they have him as a top 10 player in the first half of the season in college football. All positions. Pretty good. Pretty good. I've got one more here. Actually, 2 more, but one that'll take a little bit of explaining. Freddie Kitchens, offensive coordinator, UNC.
Go on.
I hope we can all have the type of job security and the type of faith from our boss that Freddie Kitchens has from Bill Belichick and that staff. Freddie Kitchens and Steve Belichick spoke to the media today. They had their media availability for offense and defensive coordinator. UNC, this is the quotes I'm going to pass along come from Brian Murphy, WRAL Sports Investigative reporter. Kitchens was asked if there was any thoughts on changing who calls plays, which, if we're being real, that's one of the things that every football team would consider if the offense isn't working, right? Because college football, you can't go get new players. You can't make a trade. You can't cut a guy and sign somebody off the street. You can't call up Derek Carr and be like, hey, I know you said you retired, but can we lure you? Are you still in shape? You can't do any of that. But what you can do is go, well, maybe if our quarterback's coach calls plays, maybe if the head coach calls plays, right? You can shake things up. This is what Freddie Kitchens said. That's never been brought up, never been discussed. UNC ranks 131st in FBS and total offense, and there aren't many more than that in the FBS. And nobody in a team meeting ever raised their hand and said, should we consider changing play callers? Everybody was just like, well, obviously we're going to keep letting him do his job. He's doing, the 131st best job in the country. So let us all be so believed in that we can be amongst the worst at our profession in production. I'm not talking like this is not my opinion. Statistically, amongst the worst at our profession. And have our boss not even discuss changing up our responsibilities. Pretty good. And then lastly, last Dean's List member of the day. Delaware Blue Hens, baby.
Oh, okay.
We got a little weekday Conference USA tonight. Wednesday, they're taking over from action in the middle of the week. A little Delaware, Jacksonville State. Delaware favored by 3.
I have one more to throw on the Deans this year, actually, real fast.
All right, you better be quick because I wanted to end with the kaboom that was the Delaware Blue Hens.
Duke State, Carolina women's basketball. Duke State, Carolina women's basketball all picked to finish 1, 2, 3 in the ACC this season. Duke picked to finish it number 1 overall. State picked to finish 2nd. UNC picked to finish 3rd in the ACC this year. All right here in the Triangle.
All right here in the Triangle. And I just want to make sure I say this correct. Yeah, they finished 1, 3, and 4 last year.
Yep.
So with Notre Dame, who was pretty darn good, a top 10 team in the country, finishing 2nd. So it's not even like a wild surprise that the 3 best teams in the ACC preseason are right here. They were 3 of the 4 best teams last year and have been recruiting really well. We talked about some of their recruiting yesterday. It's pretty good. Let's dismiss the Dean's List. Although we could pass along some extra accolades to the Maynard Service Company as well. Tim Donnelly here for Maynard Service Company. You're going to hear a lot. We're getting into college basketball season, and obviously we care about that a lot here in North Carolina. But you're going to hear a lot about these rosters and how you need to fill every role, right? You need a glue guy, you need a rebounder, you need a rim protector, you need the selfish me-first scorer. You need everything. Maynard Service Company, similarly. Right? You need the when you call and it's 2 a.m. because they have 24/7 service all across the triangle and your ceiling is dripping water and you're not sure why. I'm telling you right now, you're going to need somebody with a welcoming voice. You need that role on the other side of the phone. You also then need the dirty worker. You need somebody that's willing to roll up their sleeves, figure out where that water is coming from. That's the technician that is going to make it out to your house as quick as possible. You need the coach. That's, of course, their owner, Brett, who I've spent some time with and understands that the attention to detail at Maynard Service Company is part of what sets them, quite frankly, above many of their competitors. When it comes to heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric, that is a lot of people that need to be working in sync to make sure the technicians are well trained and they are well equipped to come out and fix the issues you have going on at your house. Again, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. No matter what's going on, Maynard Service Company has the tools. They're well-rounded, a deep roster top to bottom. Everybody's bringing something to the table. Give them a call, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. Or visit them online, MaynardServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. Carolina Hurricanes won last night, late night, 5-1 over San Jose. One player stood out for their flashes of brilliance. Stick around.
It's bow time. Fumble in the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's Bo time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's Bo time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's Bo time.
Here's Brandon with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Tired of waiting for a sleep treatment? At other sleep centers, it can take 6 to 8 months just to get an appointment and cost you thousands more. Not Parkway Sleep Health Centers. We schedule you within weeks and we'll save you money too. We have over 20 years of experience serving the Triangle. Let our expert team help you sleep better sooner.
End your sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
Struggling with high interest debt? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Get cash out now without touching your low rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is A+ rated by the BBB and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Their service is off the charts. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166171 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Now Carolina lets one go, and they score! A huge shot from Jackson Blake. No hesitation, and it's 5-1 Carolina.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. In my post-game adrenaline high after the game last night that ended in the wee hours of the morning, There was one player that kept rattling around in my brain. I was thinking about the potential, what he could do, what will happen, what he's already shown, and I'm going to tell you who that is right after we hear from Adam Gold, our very own Adam Gold here at 99.9 The Fan, and his reactions to the game in something we call 2 Minutes of Gold.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I've got 2 minutes for 2 points that were provided by a 27-year-old guy making his NHL debut, and it's all brought to us by Parkway Sleep Health Centers. They'll help you get good rest faster and with the care you deserve. And the care Carolina deserved last night came in the form of 27-year-old NHL maiden voyage Brandon Bussi. Stood on his head early and gave Carolina a chance to ease into it in San Jose.
As Gostisbehere with it, marked to the blue line by Skinner, and Skinner will come up with it. Skinner will break in on Bussi. Skinner shoots. Bussi with the toe save. Brandon Bussi with an outstanding save to keep this scoreless. Now set it out in front, and Bussi! Oh my goodness, with a huge save. Rebound picked up by Carolina. Brandon Bussi. Canes still need to clear, but what a save by Bussi to keep this scoreless.
Through 30 minutes of the game last night, Bussi, who the last 3 years has been a timeshare in the minor leagues in the Boston Bruins organization, had faced 7 high-danger scoring chances from San Jose, a team with offensive talent, a team that had yet to trail in any game this year, and Bussi turned aside all 7. It was incredible. The first half of the game was all about Brandon Bussi. Yes, Carolina finally got to their offense with Sean Walker and Will Carrier, and then this at the end of the second period.
Goodrow with it now, trying to stuff it out in front. Bussi robbing Gaudette, and now Carolina setting this in. Robinson's onside. Robinson, he scores! A little backhander, and Eric Robinson, he stays red hot. His second of the season, and it's a 3-1 lead, Carolina.
From then, he could simply have ordered his post-game meal. The Hurricanes did not allow a shot on goal. In the third period, Bussi didn't even have to wear skates. His NHL debut, 16 saves on 17 shots, and the game's runaway first star. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health, sound off for a 27-year-old making his NHL debut.
Thank you very much to Adam and Rusty, who puts those together. A little 2 minutes of gold reacting to last night's game. Now I can finally tell you who I was fascinated with for the Canes. Alexander Nikishin. Alexander Nikishin, their all-world prospect, defenseman, one of the biggest dudes on the team. Last night was one of those games. He didn't put it all together, right? It's not like he went out there and played the best hockey we're ever going to see, and he proved that he should be a $10 million a year defenseman. But there were multiple moments that he did something that made me go, oh, that could be special. He had a shot that went 99 miles an hour, and you could tell, I mean, he wasn't even in he was in second gear, right? Like, it wasn't even like he unloaded and looked like he was straining or trying to rip the cover off the baseball. He done 99 pretty effortlessly. Actually, to use another baseball analogy, it kind of reminded me of an effortless 100 on a pitching mound, where it's like, oh, he's not even working that hard. He just hit 100.5 miles an hour. Whoa, it was kind of that deal. What was it? The Carrier goal? Was that the move he made to just create the rebound? Obviously, it was a shot, but it ended up being hammered home by a crashing Carrier. The move Nikishin made right there is a level of offensive skill that we have been promised about Alexander Nikishin, but we haven't had that many opportunities to see. So that moment happened, and it's like, oh, if he can do that. And then towards the end of the game, there's the tripping, I think it was on Gostisbehere, and no hesitation, Nikishin flying in, puts the dude against the boards, and you could tell. And I'm not pretending like I have some sixth sense for this thing. I think everybody in the building could tell. I think everybody watching on TV could tell. He was unafraid, right? He was going to defend his dude, which he did, his guy, his teammate, and whatever the opposing team decided to escalate that to, he was unafraid. And he was ready to roll. And maybe that comes from being, 6'4", 215, 220, and having played the last bunch of years in the KHL in Russia and just going like, what, I'm supposed to be intimidated? No, he's not intimidated, and I think that is wildly important for the Carolina Hurricanes. And not only that, once he made that move, then all of a sudden a bunch of other guys were flying in and the troops were ready, whatever you want to call it, right? The Canes had reinforcements on the way. At times, and I know fans are frustrated by this, at times that's the thing that the Canes haven't done, right? There's been the trip, there's been the hit that's borderline, and the Canes rush over to help their guys stand up rather than to rush over to take care of business. Nikishin did. And that right there, that those three things, amongst many others, but those three things, to me, showed why everybody is so excited about Nikishin. Just in a nutshell. The raw power, the skill, and then the physicality and toughness, both within the game and within the mind games. That right there is why everybody's so excited about Nikishin.
And they finally have someone on that back end that isn't afraid to get fit. I mean, not that Jalen Chatfield isn't afraid to get physical, but someone of that size and that stature that isn't afraid to throw his body around, which is something that they need to have. Because, hey, you want to try and win a puck battle here in the corner in our defensive end? No, not when that guy's out on the ice.
And it's become cliche to say, but the Canes are not afraid to have forwards that are undersized, right?
No,
they have a bunch of them. And if you're going to do that, you're going to need the players on your team that do have the exceptional size and power. They're going to have to be ready to protect those guys, right? Like there's quite a bit of 180 on the Carolina Hurricanes. So your few 215s and 220s have to make sure they're carrying the weight. No pun intended. They have to make sure they're shouldering that burden. So Alexander Nikishin to me was a massive bright spot for the Carolina Hurricanes last night. And I would say so far this year, but last night there was just those snapshots of like really obvious, oh, there it is. That's why everybody's excited. That's why everybody's jacked up. And also, I believe he has an assist in all three games. Am I crediting?
He does.
So, if you want to do everything I just said and then also be a point-per-game player, that's pretty darn special through a 3-game sample size. But that's pretty darn special. And I also think it emphasizes kind of the difficulty of the situation he was thrown into in the postseason last year, where, at times, he flashed a few times the potential, but I think that was just a wildly difficult situation. And now that he's being introduced to the NHL in a more traditional way with an offseason to get used to it and everything else, there's something there, to put it lightly. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Don't forget to text keyword CAR, C-A-R, to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to the Xfinity 500 at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia, coming up later this month, about 11 days from now, the 26th. So the keyword is CAR, C-A-R, and the number to text it to is 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to the Xfinity 500 at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. We have football at 4 coming up next. We ask a simple question, and I promise it pertains to the Panthers. Is any team in the NFL good? Stick around.
Pierce the Veil. I Can't Hear You World Tour 2025. Pierce the Veil, live in concert in Raleigh. With special guests, Health, Becca Vandal and Like Roses. Live at Coastal Credit Union Music Park, Saturday, October 25th. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Part of the Mattress Warehouse concert series.
Waking up, getting ready, sitting in traffic. Let's face it, getting to work in the morning is a lot of work. But when you get a great deal on your favorite McDonald's coffee, becoming a morning person is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Now get any size refreshingly cold iced coffee for $1, a delicious mocha for $2, and a frappe for $3. Available only during breakfast hours. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Heading into some sweater weather. Temperatures this afternoon are in the upper 70s, so feeling nice with lots of sunshine. But it will be chilly tonight. We drop down to 50 under clear skies, and tomorrow is cool. Our high temperature only in the upper 60s, again under sunny skies.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 7 points to 46,262.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Football at 4. This conversation started with a simple text. Somebody sent me in a group chat, is anybody good in the NFL? And the funny part is, for the last 5 years, you almost don't even think about it and you just rattle off the usual suspects, right? You just go Chiefs, Ravens, Bills, Eagles, you just say it and you go, they're good. This year's a little different. Because I think in our heart of hearts, we still believe in a lot of those usual suspects. We're still like, they've got to be good, right? Because so many of those players have been on teams that are good. So you're just like, they'll figure it out. But, the Bills are sitting at 4-2, but they haven't beaten a team that's won more than one game. The Chiefs have looked better as of late, but they're still sitting at 3-3. They're tied with the Carolina Panthers. The Ravens, well, they're 1-5. and not showing a ton of signs of getting better, although obviously after their bye, Lamar will be back. Maybe he can truly solve everything. Who knows? But the reason why I ask this is because it's the NFL this year, and this pertains to the Panthers who are sitting at 3-3, is significantly more parity than I think we've seen. There are 14 teams right now that have 2 or fewer losses. And that doesn't include some of the teams I just mentioned, the Kansas City Chiefs, a team like the Washington Commanders that I think many believe in and have had to deal with some injuries and things and were in a conference championship last year. 14, let's see here, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 20. Like, there's like multiple wins. There's so many pretty good teams. Pretty good. Who's good, right? And you could say, all right, let's look at who's playing the best. The Indianapolis Colts and probably Tampa are probably playing the best.
Hard to argue against those two.
Are you looking at the Indianapolis Colts, led by Daniel Jones, and I think Daniel Jones has been unbelievable, might be playing himself into a $50 million a year contract, and just saying that's going to work out perfectly from here on out? It's give. Do you know what I almost said it's giving. Do you know what it's giving? That's what the kids say. You know what vibes I'm feeling from Indianapolis?
What's that?
A little bit of Minnesota last year, where they had Sam Darnold, and it was like, is he going to keep this up? And he was keeping it up. Is he really going to be an MVP candidate? And he was an MVP candidate until the chips were down, and in the last two games, the wheels kind of fell off. They ended up moving on from Sam Darnold despite being an MVP candidate. Perhaps that could happen with Indy. Tampa Bay, for as good as they've been, first of all, they've been rocked by injuries recently, and a lot of people would tell you that those last-second victories are not always the most sustainable, and it seems like every single game, Baker Mayfield has the ball with 65 seconds on the clock, down 4, and he's just got to go make something, and he's running for a 4th down conversion on 4th and 12 after shaking off 2 tackles, and then he's, for whatever reason, talking trash to somebody, in the stands. Like is that sustainable without Emeka Egbuka for the next little bit, and Bucky Irving's hurt, and all these other things? And those are just 2 of the examples. Every team that you say is like, oh, they're definitely good, I think there's obvious questions and holes about. So the reason why I think this pertains and applies and is necessary to talk about for the Panthers is simple. Oh, actually, wait, we have some audio first. Mark Schlereth, who I believe is on the call for the Panthers game this weekend, and he's a 3-time Super Bowl champ, at least, was asked, is there a dominant team in the NFL? This is what he had to say.
Just last week, I said it was Detroit, and then all of a sudden Kansas City looks like they figured it out. But Kansas City looked like they figured it out 2 weeks ago, and then they go to Jacksonville on a Monday night and lose the game. No, there is no dominant team. Like if parity was your goal in the NFL, with the draft and the way you do things, and then first to worst, from a scheduling standpoint and strength of schedule, if parity was your goal, you certainly have achieved it. Because there is no dominant team out there in the NFL right now.
Schlereth, as Dennis confirmed while he was talking there, he is on the call for the Panthers game this weekend against the Jets. Here's why it matters. Sometimes in a year like this, you can talk yourself into making moves trying to steal one. Here's why it matters. Teams that, if they were the exact same level of good that they are right now in years past, may go, yeah, we got something here. I kind of like it, but we're not going to compete with fill in the blank with the really good teams of the year. So let's keep building this core and let's aim for next year. This year, is there anyone there? Like if you're sitting at 3-3, like the Carolina Panthers, is there any big bad bully on the block down at the, waiting at the end of the runway for you to go, yeah, I don't know, we probably can't beat that team. I don't think you'd be the favorite against a bunch of teams, but there's no true deterrent like there has been in the past. So let's say, and I've seen this floated out there, little rumors, let's say like Jacoby Myers becomes available from the Raiders. And you're going, well, we might be a receiver away from sneaking into the playoffs here. Now you're giving up trades and things when I don't think you should. Or another example, I'm seeing the Giants as a potential landing spot for Chris Olave if the Saints decide to sell off. Now, I'm all for being optimistic that, you got a rookie quarterback and he's got some attitude, right? Jackson Dart and Scattaboo and all the vibes coming out of New York. But New York is 2-4. I don't think they have like a reason in any situation to be a buyer at the deadline, unless they think they can sneak into the postseason and then they've got some moxie and maybe they'll win a game or two. In a traditional year where there's that upper tier, I don't think they're going for it. So I think part of it is being really realistic, right? Because the way we started this conversation is, who is good in the NFL? And I think if we went and asked 10 different NFL fans, we might get 10, and I said, give me your top 4 teams in the NFL. I think we might get 10 different combinations of 4, right? That's an impossible question to answer. Who's the best? Who's good? Who are the contenders? Right? If we knew that, we'd go gamble large amounts of money on it and wouldn't have to do the work that most people do. But I think the question that you should be asking about your team is not who is good. It's a little bit different, and it's more introspective. Are we good? And be honest with yourself. Don't be relative with it. Don't go, well, relative to this being a down year, we're, middle of the pack. No. Are you good? Are the Panthers good? If you can honestly, in your heart of hearts, if you're Dan Morgan, if you're Dave Canales, you've watched the film, you've grinded the tape, you've given grades for all of your players, and you go, you know what? Yeah, we're good. Any given Sunday, if another team plays, their solid game, we can beat anybody. They don't have to play their worst game of the year for us to catch them when you're looking at the best teams in the league. If you can honestly say your team is good, I will never fault you for going all in on a run if you think you are worthy. But make sure you're looking at yourself and making that decision and not just looking around the league and going, I don't think anybody's going to take this. It's kind of the the attitude of I was going to go with an analogy that wouldn't make a ton of sense there, so I'll just forget the analogy and go straight to don't think you're going to win by default. The good teams will emerge, right? It's not like, hey, if we might be the only ones to go for it this year. Like, good teams will emerge, and if you're not actually good, if you were just relatively good, you're going to set yourself up to spend some, give up some future assets to go in and end up right where you started.
That's something we saw the Panthers do a few years ago under Matt Rule, where it's like, hey, we won a couple games early. Let's trade our tight end Dan Arnold in a third-round pick, and let's go get C.J. Henderson to go boost our defense. They started making moves like that. Let's go get Laviska Shenault. And then all of a sudden, you're like you said, you're trading assets in such a way. But if you are Carolina, and you look at the standings right now, you go, wait a second, we're only one game back in the win column from a playoff spot. And you have the Jets coming up this weekend. Now, can you win on the road? Because, yeah, you've been great at home. Can you win on the road? You go if you're 4-3 after this weekend, you might be like, hey, guys, we have a legit chance to make something out of this because you still got the Saints twice. They stink. You never know. You just don't know. If you can bank some wins right now, put yourself in a good spot. You simply don't know. I'm going to put the cart way ahead of the horse here, but a win this Sunday goes a long way in helping that cause.
But it goes along with what I'm saying here, which is you could be on a 3-game win streak, and by the way, enjoy it. Like, fans go crazy. You have to look at yourself and say, is that 3-game win streak real, like playoff team real? Or did we catch 3 really bad teams and even the Cowboys, who are not bad and played well offensively, they didn't have CD and they had this other stuff going on. Like, you need to look and say, are those 3 wins the type of wins that show we're a playoff team? Or are those 3 wins the type of wins that show we're moving in the right direction and we should continue to build for the long term? Like, is now when you want to cash in your chips? Because if you're looking around the league right now, I don't think there's anything scary, right? I think they could beat, if they played tomorrow, they could beat Tampa if Tampa doesn't have a great day. Tampa's 5-1, and they're number 1 in the NFC. But Mike Evans, Emeka Egbuka, Chris Godwin get healthy. Bucky Irving gets healthy. Are you still that confident? I don't know. Looking at the rest of the NFC, if the Niners have Brock Purdy come back and he's playing great, and if they get some of their injured players back, okay, now maybe that's 2 good teams. I still think the Eagles have the level of talent advantage, even if their offense looks really shaky right now. You know they can put it together, and you know they're comfortable in big games. Are the Carolina Panthers good, or are they in a pack of 24 teams this year that are not awful? It's a slightly different question, and you have to make sure you get it right, because you can set yourself back, as Dennis brought up, the Panthers have done a few times, by going all in with a roster that's not ready to go all in. And you don't want to give back any progress that you have made and then set yourself back next year, the year after, as some of these teams kind of bounce back. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. And then, if you got 9 wins and you got 2 to play, pivot and go for it, right? Don't get me wrong. I just, you got to be real with the possibilities of you making it that far. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dennis, what do you have for us?
Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. Something to keep in mind as, obviously, all of us as drivers, but also motorcycle riders as well. When you're planning on going on a long trip, well, simply do the word I just said, plan. Make sure you actually plan in advance, because sometimes your motorcycle, make sure you learn your motorcycle and understand it as best as possible. Maybe there's only a certain type of fuel that your motorcycle can use. Well, plan out where there are gas stations along the way. That way you don't run out of gas along the side of the road. But also, are you going on long trips? Make sure that you have all your gear packed away safely. If you have saddlebags or in a trunk, whatever it might be, that way everything is balanced on your bike. That way, where you're going through turns, you're not unbalanced. That's something that could also cause you to have an accident as well. All things to keep in mind before you go out there on the road. Plan ahead. Have an escape plan as well when you're on the road. If the weather all of a sudden turns bad, what's your outlet there as well? Always have a plan in advance. And have the plan going forward if you are injured in a motorcycle accident to call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you contact the insurance company. Because here's the thing about insurance companies. They don't want to give you anything. They don't. They want to give you the least amount possible. Law Tigers are there to fight for you. That's why your case evaluation is always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Coming up next, we have the ladder challenge. We have our blind ranking and more. Don't go anywhere.
Move your sports day forward.
Trust, a simple word looming large over Carolina football today. Reports have become reality, and so much it looks like we're publicly witnessing a couple renewing their vows after a long marriage. The problem is these renewals are coming way before the first anniversary of the relationship, and that's tough timing if you trust they'll stay together.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-466-1142. 800-466-1142. 800-466-1142.
This party's getting crazy! Are those mini horses? And there's a build-your-own fireworks bar? Ah! Heads up! Whoa, and they've got the new ultimate blowout scratch-offs! Okay, now it's a party!
With $250, $500, and $5,000 prizes, the ultimate blowout scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery are exploding with wins. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 8.26. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've been on the program for 10 weeks now at Raleigh Weight Loss Center, and I've lost 40 pounds. That's right, 40 pounds in 10 weeks thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center, and I'm now transitioning into what they call the maintenance phase. So the goal with Raleigh Weight Loss Center is not just to lose weight, to maybe hit a target goal, but keeping you there as well. So many fad diets are just up and down, and it can be really frustrating for a lot of people. Well, that's the whole point of Raleigh Weight Loss Center and their program. It's to help you maintain that weight once you get there. And if you have questions or concerns about Raleigh Weight Loss Center or what the program entails, you can set up a free 15-minute consultation by giving them a call, 919-897-7506, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. If you have questions or concerns or maybe some health concerns about maybe going on to a weight loss journey, have them answer those questions. 919-897-7506, RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
And Skinner will come up with it. Skinner will break in on Bussey. Skinner shoots. Bussey with the toe save. Penalty coming up to Carolina, but Brandon Bussey with an outstanding save to keep this scoreless.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. I know I promised that we're going to jump right into the ladder challenge and we're going to keep it rolling, but we're going to have to slam the brakes on that because we have some breaking news. So, just a few moments ago, Carolina Panthers coach Dave Canales spoke with the media. And ironically, earlier today, I was like, hey, all these hurt guys are coming back. Everyone's coming off IR. Everybody's ready to play. Apparently an injury that I was not expecting to be serious popped up. And Dave Canales had a unfortunate update. Dave Canales told reporters that outside linebacker Patrick Jones II, one of their offseason free agency acquisitions, he had played with the Vikings. He will miss the rest of the season because of a back injury that will require surgery. That is, first of all, a position that the Canes, not the Canes, goodness gracious. The Panthers, quite frankly, need all help they can get, right? Getting pressure on the quarterback and creating some chaos is something that they've struggled with. So Patrick Jones has done that at times. So missing him there is a fairly big deal. He's a veteran presence. He's a leader on that defense, and now he's out for the season.
Yeah, Dave Canales said that he did finish the game, which is true. He did finish the game on Sunday against Dallas, but woke up, low back was sore, went and had the imaging and all that stuff done. Yeah, needs surgery on his low back. It's a big-time loss, but this is to use Dave Canales' terms here, it's an opportunity. Hey, Nick Scorton, you're going to get more playing time. Princely Umamielen, there's more playing time for you out there. And also, with guys returning, like potentially Tershawn Wharton, where we have seen in pass rush situations, Pat Jones slide inside where Turk Wharton normally would line up. Well, if Turk Wharton's able to return, it can help alleviate some of that as well. So, but still, it's a pretty big loss because he was one of their higher end, I guess you could say, lack of a better term, offseason signings for a defense.
For sure.
That you said it's right now it's dead last in the NFL in sack percentage. It's one of the worst in the NFL right now, also in terms of pressure rates on quarterback and so on. There's a lot that's going to be missed with Pat Jones. Actually, they are dead last in the NFL in both pressure rate and sack percentage. And you're taking someone who has one of your 5 sacks this season off the field. That's not a good thing.
And few things I would add. This plays into what we were talking about earlier in the hour, which is if you think you've got a chance, it's probably pretty tempting to say, all right, does anybody out there who's out of contention have a veteran edge that we can depend on, that we can go make a move for? And that's a dangerous, slippery slope to go down where you might give up future assets and just to get back to where you were rather than even improving your roster. Secondly, I do think that veteran presence will be missed. And back surgery, I was actually I was just listening to a pod with Brian Urlacher, and he was talking about in the NFL the serious season-ending injuries feel a lot different than when they happen in college. And part of the conversation they were having was like a season-ending injury in college, you're still around your buddies a lot, right? You're still living probably with a few of them. You're going to class with a bunch of them. You're still in the mix. If you have a back surgery in the NFL, other players have said this. I've never played in the NFL, but I've heard this said multiple times. It's almost like you're not on the team anymore because it's not like you're going out to practice, right? You got back surgery. You're probably laid up for a while, and they don't have time to like keep you in the mix. They got to get the other guys ready.
Yeah, you're just at home.
A lot of times you're at home. You're coming into training hours at like times when not many others are in the facility, because when the others are in the facility, the trainers have to be working on those guys to get them ready for Sunday. And if you're rehabbing, you're doing it on a different time. So Pat Jones is not only going to be missed in a production standpoint, but he is from everything we've heard from the coaching staff, like a true pro, does things the right way, and probably was imparting some wisdom, whether intentionally or by example, for the Nick Scortons and the Princely Uman-Mielens and some of the young guys up front. So that's going to have to be, just the chemistry of the defensive line, the chemistry of the defensive front seven is going to have to be changed up a little bit, because he's not going to be around much anymore. Back surgery is a brutal deal for an NFL player, really any athlete. But to go to sleep Sunday like I'm a little sore and wake up like, oh, my season's over, I need back surgery, that is a brutal beat for Pat Jones. He was on a 2-year contract, though, right? So hopefully he gets back and he's ready to roll for next season. I don't know, what the nature of the injury, other than back injury surgery. I don't know what the nature of the injury is, so we'll see if he's able to come out on the other side.
Yeah, Canales didn't actually explain or go into detail about, is it a herniated disc or anything along those lines. He didn't say anything along that.
As, I wouldn't expect him to. All right, with that out of the way, a little breaking news for you. Let's jump into something a little more lighthearted and get to the ladder challenge.
Oh, my God! And for the 20-foot ladder with a spear on Jeff Hardy. For the love of God, Jeff Hardy may be broken. Smack dab in half.
All right, Dennis, you were the leader going into yesterday. How'd it go?
It didn't. It didn't.
I
had Seth Jarvis 2+ shots on goal yesterday. He had a first shot about 11 minutes into the first period. I'm like, there's one. All I need is one more. Didn't happen.
Well, that's because everybody else was taking shots.
I know. But no, I actually ended up losing yesterday. Back down.
I lost the time before, which means I'm ahead slightly because I did get the winner. I had the Dodgers to score at least 2 runs against Milwaukee yesterday, and they did. They won 5-1. So obviously a winner chicken dinner there. And that brings us to today. And now that I'm in the lead, I get to lead off. I'm looking college football. I'm looking UTEP, Sam Houston State. And I'm getting UTEP plus 10.5. It's minus 710. You ready for this haymaker matchup we have here? Just a couple of juggernauts ready to, like rams on the side of a hill, just bash each other. UTEP is 1-5 on the season. Sam Houston State is 0-6. So it's maybe not what I described. Either way, UTEP is a 3.5-point favorite, and I figure neither of these teams is going to run away from the other. So I'm teasing the 3.5-point favorite to a 10.5-point underdog, and I'm getting minus 710 on the odds, which will turn my $11.90 into $13.57.
Okay, we're just going to look to get back on the win column. I'm going to go straight for a minus 1,000 right
there
here.
You go.
Future Carolina Hurricane Tage Thompson, 2+ shots on goal today for the Buffalo Sabres against the Ottawa Senators. That's a minus 1,000, so $10 will turn into $11 for me.
What's the price they're going to pay for Tage Thompson to be a future Carolina Hurricane?
All $11 that I'm going to win right after tonight.
We will pledge whatever we make in the numbers game to the Tage Thompson come to the Carolina Hurricanes fund.
If that's all it took, I'm in.
Well, we only have to get it right 800 consecutive days, and then we'll have like a game check. The drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Although Tage Thompson, just speaking, we'll add a turn here. His contract is fantastic.
Oh, really is.
Very, very good contract. So if the Canes could acquire it, I would be very excited. But I do think the price to acquire the very, very good contract would be hefty. Irony. The drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the ladder challenge. We'll keep you updated and play again tomorrow. See who's winning, see who's staying hot, and who has to start over. At the moment here on the drive, let's get to a blind ranking.
All right, so for this week's blind ranking, a blind ranking is pretty simple. I'm going to give Tim 5 names, and we're actually going to blind rank Carolina Hurricanes players through the first 3 games of the season. That's it. Ranking them based off the first 3 games of the season. But Tim doesn't know the 5 names I'm going to give him. So once he slots them in somewhere 1 through 5, it is done. You cannot move, can't shift anyone around. That's how we're going to do things here for the blind ranking. All right, Tim, are you ready, good sir?
Born ready.
All right. You sound like my dad. All right. First name here, Taylor Hall.
Taylor Hall's been very good. This is just how they've played over the first 3 games, correct?
That is correct. Just over the first 3 games.
Taylor Hall scored the first goal of the year.
He did.
He tacked on another.
He had an assist last night.
So he's had at least a point in every game. He switched with Svech partway through last night, so he went from the fourth line, which at times has been the best line for the Canes, and jumped up to the second line. I think his positive impact could be on that line if he gets more time there. I think he's played really well. I'm putting him second. Taylor Hall, number 2.
Okay, next name on this list, K'Andre Miller.
K'Andre Miller is... I still have to get used to watching K'Andre Miller because he is a different physical... Like, as a fellow person with kind of gangly arms and legs that's, a little bit shorter, but up near his height, I say this positively, he is lanky as heck. I have to get used to he's out of position. Oh, never mind. He reached over there and he defended it well. It's just and he's fast. He's a big dude. I think he's played very well. I think the goals are a bit misleading. I don't think he's shown the true potential of his offensive abilities, but he got 2 goals on some softies. But he's done well. Gone to the box at least a couple of times. I'm gonna put him 3rd. K'Andre Miller 3rd.
All right, so you have Taylor Hall at number 2. You have K'Andre Miller ranked at number 3. Next name here on the blind ranking is Alexander Nikishin.
I'm comfortable with it. The good news is there's really no... now that I say this, you'll find one. But of the roster, everybody's played pretty well. You know what I mean? Nobody has laid a complete egg. So... There's a lot of flexibility here. I don't know if there's a lot of wrong answers. I'll put Nikishin at 4. I'm fine with that. Alexander Nikishin at 4 with flashes of being number 1. But we're judging the full body of work here. He'll go 4.
Okay. Next one we have here. So you have Taylor Hall you ranked at number 3 blindly.
Yep.
K'Andre Miller you put at number 3 blindly. Alexander Nikishin you have at number 4 blindly, which means you only have 1 and 5 available.
This is my least favorite build in this game when I only have 1 and 5. It happened and I can't control it, but this is my least favorite place to be right now.
Next name, Sebastian Aho.
I'm fine with Aho 1.
Okay.
He's got 4 assists. He's obviously breaking in some new chemistry with Ehlers. But he orchestrated a lot of the goals. He's controlling the action. He obviously contributed to the overtime game winner in game 2. I still think there's a level above, judging Aho by Aho standards. I think he can be better, but he's still outplaying most of his teammates. I have no problem with him number 1.
Which means leaves available number 5. So again, you rank Taylor Hall 2, K'Andre Miller 3, Alexander Nikishin 4, Sebastian Aho number 1, which leaves number 5 open for Seth Jarvis.
Yeah, that's not great. Really, that's the only player that would really bum me out that you could give me for the last one. Seth Jarvis I had to play the odds there. If you would have given me any name that's available other than Seth Jarvis, I would have been fine. But Seth Jarvis there just makes the whole list look foolish.
Can't believe you put Seth Jarvis at 5.
Yeah, you know what? What has he done for me lately?
Multiple points.
He didn't have multiple points.
He had a point last night.
He had a point.
Yeah.
So did 13 other guys.
Yeah.
Or 12 other guys had a point last night. Mm-hmm. What have you done for me lately? Where was he the first 3 periods of game 2?
Wait until overtime.
It's obviously Seth Jarvis should be significantly higher, but I had to play the odds. I think that's you know how hockey works, where sometimes you can dominate a game and lose 3-1. I think I did everything right, and I lost 3-1. I think I outshot him. I possessed the puck. My power play didn't get it done, obviously. Special teams need a little work.
And you hit a post.
7. I rang 7 posts like it was game 1 for the Canes. I think it was good process. We judge process over here, not results. I think it was good process. long season. We execute that well, we'll be just fine going into the postseason. But it does kind of stink. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We can end the blind ranking there and move on. I need to be cheered up, so I'm going to move on to some really fun news. We reached 20,000 subscribers on YouTube, something that we had been eyeing. I remember when we got to 18,000. It wasn't that long ago, and I remember going 18. You know what the next big number is, right? No one's excited for 19,000, but 20,000? Let's go. And we reached that sometime between last show and this show, which, first of all, thank you all, right? We don't say it enough. Our listeners are the best. And if you have discovered us on YouTube, or maybe you're watching right now on YouTube live stream, we very much appreciate you. If you haven't yet checked us out on YouTube, check it out, 99.9 The Fan. Subscribe while you're there. We do have, and am I allowed to say anything about this? What am I allowed to say about the $20,000 giveaway or
$20,000 giveaway? Hold on, wait a
20,000
second.
subscriber giveaway.
What we could say is that we have an item that is related to a Carolina Panther, a current Carolina
I feel like a lawyer
Panther.
is like standing in the corner of the room going, "Here's the verbiage you're allowed to use."
We have a signed item.
A signed item
by a Carolina Panther.
By a Carolina Panther. Okay, we're giving away some details here.
So make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube page, 99.9 The Fan. If you've already done so already, great, awesome. There will be a video that comes out tomorrow that we're going to drop. Watch that video. You get all the details on how to enter, if you are a subscriber and so on. That's how you do it, but you have to be subscribed.
20,000. 20,000 subscribers.
We're giving stuff away, people.
I want to say, just because these are the numbers I know, I've been here. We've been doing this version of the show in this time slot for like 2.5 years roughly. And I want to say when we showed up, there was like 2,000 or 3,000 subscribers, and now we're up to 20,000. That's in the last 2-something years. So that's a big thank you from us here to all of you out there. And we're going to show that appreciation with a giveaway of a signed item by a Carolina Panther. But you have to be subscribed to do it, and check out the video tomorrow on our social media, and I assume it'll also be on our YouTube. So get there, right? Obviously, there's a little right now we're living in the moment between like the play clock hitting 0 and the ref has to see the clock and see the ball hasn't moved. So it's like we're giving away something awesome to what kind of the intention is, one of the 20,000 subscribers that helped us get to 20,000. But the giveaway is going to start tomorrow or in the next couple of days. So if you weren't one of the first 20,000, you get that extra little beat, right? That you can go subscribe right now and kind of, game the system a bit. So go subscribe to 99.9 The Fan. And because I am a competitive person and I'm never satisfied, 25,000 is right around the corner. Let's get to 25,000. Let's get to a nice 250,000. That's the next goal. But 20,000 we will celebrate, and we will give something cool away. Appreciate everybody that subscribes on our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. Which, by the way, there's content, new Pack Therapy episode out today. When's the most recent Panther playbook?
It will come out 7 o'clock tomorrow morning.
7 o'clock tomorrow morning for Panther fans. There's a Panther playbook. I assume there was a Carolina, a Canes Corner last night after the game, as there always is, no matter what time, even if they got to stay up and record till 2-something in the morning. So there's always content kicking out on our YouTube, even in addition to the clips from this show and the live streams and everything else. So 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. We have a few minutes here, so let's line up some hit-its and quit-its real quick.
I want you to
Hit it and quit it. I'll get us started. MLB playoffs going on. Last night, the Dodgers won. That gives them, I believe, a 2-game lead. And on the other side, there's also a what's the lead there?
It's 2-0 Seattle over Toronto right now.
So they're both 2-0. I don't like that very much. I like a little back and forth.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. It might be a little bit of an underwhelming Major League postseason, or at least this round, I should say. The first few rounds were electric,
and that may set up like a electric World Series if you have two teams that are just cranking and well rested and ready to play. So maybe we'll get there. But at the moment, Dodgers lead Brewers 2-0, and Mariners lead Blue Jays 2-0 as well. And I think they're both the lower seed, so are they going home for Game 3? Did they win both of them on the road?
I believe so, yes.
So tough hill to climb for the old Brew Crew and the Jays.
I don't know if you saw last night. I don't know if you really got into this, but one thing I saw last night was that, or at least in the first 2 games on the NLCS, that Blake Snell and Yamamoto, the starting pitchers for the Dodgers, both pitched into the 8th, at least. Went 8 complete, or 8+, I should say, which is just, again, you don't see that in the regular season, and I love and appreciate the fact that managers are actually letting their starting pitchers, if they're dominating, pitch like this in the postseason, because in the regular season, we've seen analytics take so much, like, oh, okay, we're on the third time around the batting order. Now we got to go to the bullpen. Let your best players, if their pitcher's cooking, give them the ball. Plain and simple, give them the ball.
And all those home runs are nice. All the advanced analytics postseason, that often comes down to, all right, who's got the arms that are mowing people down?
I actually hated this a few years ago, speaking of Blake Snell, when he was pitching for Tampa and they were playing the
I know
Dodgers.
exactly what you're talking about.
The
Kevin
manager
Cash
pulls him like, no, this dude's like 78 pitches and he's cooking right now. Okay, he gave up 1 hit here in like the 6th or 7th inning, and you're going to pull him? And sure enough, they go on and lose. I was like, nah, it's my best pitcher has the ball on the mound. That's what I want. Sure enough, you lose a series. Go figure.
There was a dramatic managing by calculator moment there.
Yeah.
Where you need your hand up guy. I talk about it all the time. You need the person that just raises their hand and say, are you sure this isn't stupid? Just like shake you out of whatever trance you're in. Like, hey, you got a guy that's pitched really well. Are you sure you want to take him out? You just need your hand up guy. Hopefully like a high school friend. Somebody that can call you a dummy and you won't get mad. Hey, dummy, leave the good pitcher in there that's pitching good. Okay. Let's quit that. Let's hit this.
Next one here. Actually, I'm going to change course here a little bit here, Tim.
Love it. Ooh.
I know.
All right. Hey.
Might be a little groovy, or I guess I'm actually more somber. I don't know. For North Carolina football. So Amir Brown from Rollsville High School is a 4-star recruit. He's a junior right now. He's a running back. Announces decommitment from North Carolina football. 4-star running back from Rollsville High School. So one of the local guys that Bill Belichick has recruited said, actually, you know what? I'm gonna reopen my recruiting. He's decommitted.
Listen, I am always in favor of the player in these situations. I know it is a bummer for UNC and UNC fans, and I'm sure the coaching staff is not in love with the optics of a player choosing to decommit right at this moment with the tornado of reporting being done. But listen, you only get one shot at your college football career, and if there is a situation that's less than stable, I completely understand why you might want to, double back and rethink things. And obviously he could go back to UNC if that relationship stays okay. But if it doesn't, he's good enough that he will have plenty of options and he can find another place that can fulfill whatever he's looking for in his college career. I'm sure it stinks. Like, I'm sure even for him, right? Like, that's not an easy decision to make. I'm sure it wasn't made on a whim. Like that wasn't a fun phone call to make. I guarantee it. And now he gets to work on finding the next spot. I'm wondering if it won't start something with UNC though. I'm wondering. All right, let's cut it right there. Didn't get much of hit it and quit it, but it's some breaking news at the top. Which, by the way, the breaking news being. Patrick Jones, edge rusher for the Carolina Panthers, as revealed by their coach Dave Canales during his media availability earlier this hour. Out for the year, has a back injury. He's going to be having back surgery, so he's done for the season for the Carolina Panthers. Not great news to get midweek when you're kind of a lot of things are going in the right direction, right? Feels like a lot of momentum going up. That's a definite little obstacle to throw in there. And you feel for the player, injuries are the worst, but hopefully the surgery gets done, the recovery can happen, and he'll be ready to play next year. But we'll have to wait and see. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Pre-owned and vintage Rolex. Pre-owned and vintage Rolex. It's one of the most iconic things, quite frankly. I was gonna say pieces of fashion, but it's really it spreads even wider than fashion. A Rolex on your wrist says a lot, right? And the cool part that I'm not sure people don't know until they really get into it is every Rolex can say something different. If you go with the Explorer, if you go with a Oyster Perpetual, or you go with a Daytona, or you go with all of these different models and dials and years, it says something, right? And those that know will know, and those that you tell will know, right? It's kind of an if you know thing. But you can do things like grabbing a birth year watch that was made in the year of maybe the birth of one of your children, or a graduation year, or an anniversary year. You can grab a dial that has as many complications as you want. It could be a chronograph like a Daytona, or many other options. You can keep the day dates. You can keep the date justs. There's so many different options. And Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location, has the largest selection of pre-owned and vintage Rolexes in the state. And it's a revolving door, right? Pre-owned and vintage Rolexes are coming in. They're being found. They're being searched for customers at Bailey's Fine Jewelry, and you should stop in often to see what they have. You never know if your Grail watch, the one you've been dreaming of, could be in their display case right now. But you have to stop in to find out. And then next week, and then next week, and then next week. Talk to them. Let them know. Maybe they can track one down for you. It's all happening at the Bailey's Fine Jewelry and the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, located within Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location in Raleigh. Just let them know you heard about it right here from me, Tim, on 99.9 The Fan. When we come back, our weekly check-in with NC State legend and longtime NFL quarterback Mike Glennon to break down what's real, what's good news, what's bad news about the way Bryce Young is playing for the Carolina Panthers. Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
He always makes excuses, and it's always somebody else's fault. That's who Tua has been through the 6 years he's been in the National Football League. Respect is earned, it's not given. I don't give a damn that you got a C on your chest and that you've been appointed the, quote, leader of the team from the coaches. In the NFL, if your locker room does not respect your quarterback, it's over. Full stop.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
It's the Drive into Fall event at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington, and right now you can drive away in a brand new Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited for as low as $34,500. That's over $10,000 in savings on the SUV you've always wanted. See dealer for details. Luxury, power, and performance, all for a price that'll blow you away. Plus, the largest inventory and best selection in the area to choose from. So get off your keister and get to Heister today. John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Here's Megan with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Are sleepless nights affecting your life? Parkway Sleep Health Centers can help. We've treated sleep disorders in the Triangle and beyond for over 20 years. We offer sleep studies, office visits, CPAP machines, supplies, and more. And our streamlined process allows us to see you sooner and usually saves hundreds of dollars.
End sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending and Cary. With the Federal Reserve cutting rates, the most frequent question we get is, do I wait for rates to go lower, or should I take the savings and just act now? At Miller Lending, we toss all the timing questions aside with our popular no-cost program. With no fees charged or added to your loan amount, you simply close on today's rates and refinance again as rates fall. With many economists predicting rates in the 5s next year, why pay upwards of $15,000 to $20,000 in closing costs just to get a rate you may get for no cost next spring? Imagine the freedom to use that money for more important things than reducing your payment by the extra $50. Recently, we've noticed a trend of related party transactions as some of the nation's largest lenders have bought real estate or mortgage lead sites, driving closing costs even higher. Please don't throw away all that cash or equity when all you wanted was a lower payment. Call Miller Lending and see why a no-cost loan is the right loan for you. 919-447-3377, 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Are you maxed out on credit cards? Maybe you're struggling with that high interest debt. You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a massive turnaround. Here's the thing. Your home equity, it's yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now. loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. We are back here, and it's time for our weekly visit with Mike Glennon, NC State legend, former 10-year NFL vet, here to talk a little bit of state. But if you want a lot of state talk, go check out our podcast, Pack Therapy, available everywhere podcasts can be found, on the brand new 99.9 The Fan app, as well as on YouTube. First, on our 99.9 The Fan app, we're giving away some Canes Florida Panthers tickets.
Ooh.
Big Canes fan?
I was at the season opener.
You excited? You ready to roll? Undefeated 3-0?
3-0. Let's go, baby.
All right. Do you get to be like a fan when it comes to Canes? Yeah. I like watching like golf. I like watching basketball because I like watching football. Sometimes my brain is just like tracking safeties and potential pressures.
Yeah.
Hockey is the ultimate. Like I can just be a fan.
I almost love watching. If I were to rank them, I probably like watching NC State basketball over football because it's like I know enough, but I don't know it all. Where I just enjoy it as a fan. Where football, I do the analytical thing, and sometimes I'm like, man, that was just a bad play. Like, you shouldn't be able to break a 70-yard touchdown. Like that was just bad football. Hockey is like, I almost don't know enough. Like, okay. I have a decent understanding. Still don't really understand strategy and like
this is all that. This is not to like knock on casual fans, but I the way I've described hockey, and I not super long ago was probably this way, but I'm obviously into it, studying it now, is there's a group that cheers immediately when something good happens, and there's the group that cheers like 3/4 of a second after, once everyone else cheers, and yeah.
Well, I'm definitely the guy when fans erupt over what they think should be a penalty, where I'm kind of like,
looking around.
What are they? Why do they think that was a penalty?
Yeah, that's fair. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's get to the sport that you watch analytically and know an absurd amount about. Bryce Young and the Panthers, they've won 3 of their last 4. 3-3, 500 at this point in the season for the first time in 4 or 5 years, undefeated at home. But I want to ask you a few things about Bryce. There's 2 stats that I can't. There's kind of like a bunch of different ways to look at him. One, it could just be a fun fact, means nothing. Could mean something really good for Bryce. Could mean something really bad for Bryce. He has 9 career wins. Okay, and he's played 2.5 seasons, whatever it is. He has 9 career wins as a starting quarterback. He has 8 career game-winning drives in the fourth quarter and overtime. Is that like awesome because he's clutch and he's comfortable in the moment? Is it confusing because why can't you play that well all game? Why does it need to be that kind of gotta-have-it 60-yard drive for a field goal? Or is it just a complete coincidence?
I mean, my first reaction is obviously it's a good thing. It can't be a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I feel like game-winning drives can be mislabeled. Mm-hmm. Like the other day, Caleb Williams has a game-winning drive. They got the ball on their 50-yard line, and I don't know if he threw a pass.
Yeah.
Bryce
has a few of those.
In this game, I mean, it looks like, I remember watching it, But impressive 15-play, 6-minute drive to end it out with a field goal. Did he complete many passes, or was this just Rico Dowdle all the way down?
The big thing he did was on a fourth down. It was a completion to Hunter Renfrow into a very tight window.
That was a tight window. Would argue not the greatest coverage. Dude was playing off like 8 yards on fourth down, but good on Bryce to get that conversion. Other thing I would look for, I feel like it's different when you're playing with a tie than you're playing from behind. Tie, 27-27 is a different feel than got to have it. Like, we have to score here. This is like, when they started this drive, he probably didn't even think it was going to be the last play of the drive. I'm not trying to knock on Bryce. Good thing. I want to see, sometimes it's good to play with a lead. Like, you should be putting your team in position to win the game rather than have to come back at the end.
Another thing that's kind of interesting, and I don't have the exact number in front of me, but we brought it up on our show yesterday. He is his winning percentage is astronomically higher when he throws for less, I think it was less than 200 yards or less than 25 attempts, something like that. Basically, he can be efficient in a game where they don't ask him to do a ton. And when they ask him to do more, it becomes less likely that they're going to win. The caveat that I want to make sure we acknowledge is it could be chicken or the egg. Like, you're probably asking him to do more in games where you're behind a bunch and you're throwing up, or you're throwing to come back. But is it concerning that they don't win that often when you have to look at him and say, it's your game?
Yeah, it is probably a chicken or the egg thing. There are plenty of quarterbacks in the NFL that if you just play good, clean football and you have a good team around you, you can win a lot of games doing it that way. It's not a bad thing. That's not a knock on someone. But that also doesn't mean you're probably a guy that can win you games. And to be an elite quarterback, you got to be a guy that can win you games. So you're loaded around you, which I don't think the Panthers are. Like, that's fine. We don't need a quarterback that is going to throw for, 250 yards and 3 touchdowns every week. We just need a guy that's going to take care of the ball. The Panthers, with the way the roster's set up, is they need a dude, a quarterback that's going to win them games. So to me, that tells,
unless Rico Dowdle keeps up 200 yards rushing per game for the rest of eternity,
and
which isn't going to happen because
that's not going to happen. And you can't fault Bryce. You can't come in here and criticize Bryce because he got the win. He did what they needed to do. They won that game because of Rico Dowdle. They did not win that game because of Bryce Young, which is how you could go across the league, and there's probably multiple quarterbacks that are winning football games, not because of them, but because they're taking care of the football and allowing everyone else around them to kind of win the game for it.
We're talking with Mike Glennon here on The Drive. I love an analogy, so I'm going to give you one here. When we were young, right? Let's go to the super old guys. When we were young, there were kind of like mid-level comedy movies, right? The movie that had like a $20 million budget, and I think a lot of those are our favorite movies, right? They also had the Terminators, whatever, that cost $100 million, and they had the indies that cost $10, $5, $2 million. But there was that middle range and right, if you listen to any actor, director, like, that's gone away. Can I make the argument that we need like a $20 million quarterback? Because right now it's either you're accepting like 10 or less and you're a backup, or you're getting 50 and you're a starter, and it's almost like it doesn't matter how good of a starter you are. If you're a starter, you're getting 50. But, and I'm not sure if Bryce is in this category or not, I think there are quarterbacks that it's like, if you had another $30 million to spend on the offense, you might be effective enough that we could win with you. But if we give you $52 million a year, there's just no shot. And kind of that middle range of quarterback doesn't exist anymore.
Definitely. It's finding quarterbacks that are in a situation.
You have to convince them that they're a $20 million quarterback.
The first person that pops in my mind is Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is probably the perfect example of that Colts had a rookie quarterback, so they're able to build around them with good players, and then you find a quarterback that will play for $20 million. You take $30 million out of that Colts, salary cap to pay Daniel Jones probably what he's playing like, they're probably not as good around him.
And same, they're paying Brock Purdy, but like a Mac Jones, like there's a lot of guys who, if you put a really like above average offense around them, it's plausible that you win.
It's kind of what happened with Baker Mayfield a couple years ago. It's just hard to find that, guys. You're either a rookie quarterback on a rookie contract, or you're a $50 million quarterback because you earned it. That's just kind of how the NFL works, and it's probably why a lot of teams don't really have a chance going into it, because if you're paying your quarterback $50 million and he's not playing like a top 5 quarterback, then it's, then you're doing yourselves a disservice.
So last question on this kind of little line of questioning here. You've been in a ton of NFL quarterback rooms. Quarterback inherently, I say this all the time, comes with ego, right? At some point you were like 9 years old and the coach said, what position do you want to play? And you raised your hand and said, the one that has the ball every play and everybody depends on. And you don't say that if you don't have ego. Are there guys out there that would entertain that option? Or is every quarterback looking at their agent and saying, no, if I'm a starter, get me starter money?
From my understanding, there's kind of different tiers of what a quarterback is. There's going to be a quarterback that like resets the market, and that's your Patrick Mahomes, your Josh Allen's. Then there's basically like a playoff winning quarterback, which is why Daniel Jones probably got the money he did in New York, was because he won a playoff game there. And then there's kind of that next range, which I don't even know if that exists. Honestly, that's probably like you're either a playoff winning quarterback that gets that kind of money, or you're not. And you're probably onto your next team trying to do what
you're hoping to go be a backup for Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, or Kevin O'Connell.
There's just I can't really explain it other than that's just kind of the way it works in the NFL right now. Is you're either going to be in that top range. What Trevor Lawrence is probably a great example of this. He is making $50 million, and he's just not he's not on the same level as those other guys that are making that kind of money, and they're playing well. Ultimately, I don't think the Jaguars are going to win, and part of that is probably because they're probably overpaying their quarterback.
There's a ton. I don't want to just single out Trevor, Tua, Jordan Love right now. Like, there's a lot of guys that are in that $50 million range where I think if they were making 22.
But you either have one or you don't. Like, I see it from the agent standpoint. Is like, look, we're going to hold this. Jordan Love is a franchise quarterback. So if you don't pay him, someone else will. So we're going to want that $50 million, where the team's kind of like, they're kind of right. Like, what are we going to do if we don't re-sign Jordan Love? We got to start this process all over with. It's a reason. There's a reason why, it's a supply and demand thing. And there's really probably only about 15 quarterbacks on this planet that are true franchise quarterbacks, and those guys are going to make that $50 million.
And Bryce probably isn't one of the $50 million guys.
But he could be.
I mean, if they'd have to keep this winning up to. I mean, he's
no. I'm not saying that, but has he become what we're talking about, Daniel Jones? I don't know, but
the Panthers do have a history of letting quarterbacks leave and then watching them blossom somewhere else with Sam Darnold and with obviously Baker Mayfield being the best example recently. Mike, we appreciate it as always. It is a bye week for NC State, so we didn't get into a ton of state stuff going into this weekend today. But check out Pack Therapy, the podcast, for all of Mike's reaction to the Notre Dame game and some bye week insight. Pack Therapy, the podcast, available everywhere podcasts can be found. And once again, that was Mike Glennon joining us for his weekly visit. We'll have him back on next week and keep you updated on the insight into what it's like to be an NFL quarterback. Right now, Dennis Cox has something he'd like to update you on.
I do. Dennis Cox here real quick for Loan Pronto. Folks, you trapped on a high-rate mortgage, maybe watching your hard-earned money vanish away every single month? Well, stop. Right now, Loan Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases, and here's the kicker. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait, folks. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no-obligation quote. Imagine lower payments, more money in your pocket, and a fresh start with a better mortgage. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. Don't let high rates hold you back, folks. 919-381-1760 or go to loanpronto.com right now. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, gets to the starting 5 right after this.
Do you have a smartphone? Of course you do. Do you have a pocket or pouch or human hand to hold your smartphone? Then you have no excuse. Download the 99.9 The Fan brand new app today and take us with you wherever you go. Your favorite hosts, podcasts, and live sports action all in one place. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Finally, there's an app for 99.9 The Fan. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today. Powered by Aspire Money Management.
Hey, it's Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for Clayton Homes. Fall in North Carolina, as we know, means crisp nights, football Saturdays, and big savings with the Red Tag Sales event going on now at Clayton and Oakwood Homes. It's the best time of the year to buy your dream home. And right now, prices are slashed. You can save thousands on select in-stock homes. These are move-in ready homes with huge markdowns, but only while supplies last. Like a strong defense on the field, Clayton-built homes are made to keep you covered. Designed with energy efficiency in mind, you will stay cozy this fall, comfortable year-round, and save money on bills. Check out Clayton and Oakwood Homes to see fully furnished models, explore your options, and lock in savings. And don't wait. These homes are priced to move, and when they're gone, they're gone. The Red Tag Sale going on now at Clayton and Oakwood Homes locations and online at theredtagsale.com. Terms and conditions for the Red Tag Sales event at theredtagsale.com. Available only at participating Clayton Homes family of brands retailers through 12/31. Amount of savings may be limited. Ask for details. May not be available within certain financing. Lender restrictions apply.
It's the final shot at the Championship 4. NASCAR Playoffs weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Waking up, getting ready, sitting in traffic. Let's face it, getting to work in the morning is a lot of work. But when you get a great deal on your favorite McDonald's coffee, becoming a morning person is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Now get any size refreshingly cold iced coffee for $1, a delicious mocha for $2, and a frappe for $3. Available only during breakfast hours. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WREL meteorologist Amy Wilmoth. A beautiful day out there today with mostly sunny skies and temperatures in the 70s. We're cooling it down tonight thanks to a cold front swinging through. Mainly clear tonight with lows near 50. And then gorgeous weather Thursday to kick off the state fair. Plenty of sunshine with highs near 70.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 17 points today to 46,253.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the starting 5, as it always is at this time, and we always start with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You have got to be kidding me.
Major League Baseball playoffs ongoing. So tonight there is a Mariners-Blue Jays game. Tomorrow there will be a Dodgers-Brewers game. Both of the American League Championship Series and NL Championship Series, National League, are at 2-0. Okay, the Dodgers lead the Brewers 2-0 after a 5-1 win last night, and the Mariners lead the Blue Jays 2-0 after a win a couple nights ago. I'm going to say the most I like to think I traditionally have kind of deep sports opinions, or at least I try to think of things differently. I hope it gets more interesting. I hope the series, I hope they're not sweeps. I hope there's a little suspense. I hope there's a good comeback or two. I hope there's something of substance there. And I'm not even I don't pretend to be. I'm not the biggest baseball fan in the world, at least not kind of in this part of the country where we don't really have a home MLB team. But But I still like postseason baseball. Give me some juice. Give me a game 6. Give me runners on second and third, down 1. Give me something there. That's really all I'm asking for. Dennis, anything you want to point out about the baseball?
Cal Raleigh. I think we just got to start rooting for him. We just have to root for Cal Raleigh. He's a North Carolinian, and his last name's Raleigh. We just simply have to root for the Mariners. You know what? Sweep the Jays. Sweep Toronto. Toronto's not allowed to have nice things when it comes to pro sports.
Can you retroactively find a reason to not be a front runner? Because Cal Raleigh's been from North Carolina the last X amount of his entire life.
Yeah, his life.
But he's been in Major League Baseball for a while now. Now he's good, and we're always love my North Carolina guys.
No, that was the thing. We always have loved our North Carolina guys. We've been on the train since before it took off.
It's really convenient that he's from North Carolina, because now that he's really good, we're not front runners. We just root for local guys. We're not bandwagoners at all.
Literally local. His name's Raleigh.
His name is Raleigh.
I know I've said that a lot.
Cal Raleigh. That's first of all.
He's covering the entire ACC.
That's true. When you name your kid Cal Raleigh,
yeah,
he better grow up to be a Major League Baseball player. That's like central casting name. I'm here to audition for baseball player, the role of Cal Raleigh. It's just right there. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4 all together.
College basketball season is not that far into the future.
It's literally 2 weeks.
How crazy is that? The ACC preseason polls will come out. Yesterday, we dove aggressively into the men's side of things. For the women's side of things, Duke, State, Carolina. In that order, at the top of the list.
Let's go.
All of them received at least one first-place vote. Duke getting 40, State getting 25, North Carolina getting 1. Louisville, Notre Dame also received a couple of first-place votes, although their total number of points based on the voting puts them in 4th and 5th, below North Carolina. The all-freshman team, first of all, there's a lot of names here. Zoe Brooks is up preseason All-ACC, just starting All-ACC. Toby Fournier, I believe, for Duke, one of their post players, first team. Ashlyn Jackson from Duke, first team. And Renaya Kelly from UNC, first team. Preseason all-freshman team, Emily Skinner from Duke, Nyla Brooks from UNC, no representatives from NC State. Anything that I'm missing, Dennis, before we react?
I think you nailed it.
All right, cool. It tracks. They were really good last year. They're really good this year. The coaches are really impactful for the 3 teams from the Triangle. They are really – I know that there's rivalries, don't get me wrong. But I also want to acknowledge that it really is a rising tide raising all boats. When you those 3 teams being really good at the same time creates really cool atmospheres, which makes more recruits want to come play here, which makes the atmospheres really cool, which makes you win more games, and it's that self-fulfilling prophecy that keeps going around and around. For example, by the way, we talked recruiting. This is kind of a way to tell what I'm trying to say here. Phillip Rivers' son, Gunnar Rivers, quarterback, top 50 recruit in the country, is going to visit NC State. Makes sense. His dad's old stomping grounds. He's going to be there for the UNC game, right? You want to put them in those rivalry atmospheres. If I am a high school women's basketball recruit, and you're going to come to the rivalry game, you're going to come to State UNC, you're going to come to Duke UNC, you're going to come to one of the games across the Triangle, not only are you going to get the rivalry, you're going to get 2 of the best teams in the country playing against each other, 2 of the best teams in the ACC, and the preseason voters knew that. Women's college basketball comes through the Triangle. Take that.
All of college basketball comes through the Triangle.
Yeah,
they do. Trust it all comes through here. College sports comes through here.
I would say more often than not, you're right, but there's some people that need to pull their end of the bargain on the men's side a little bit better. But more often than not, I think you're right, and I think that's something that you should take pride in. We should take pride in here in the Triangle. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3. So this weekend, talking about college sports coming through the Triangle, UNC late night Friday at Cal football, Duke home against Georgia Tech, big game noon on Saturday. But the news of the day, Amir Brown decommitting from UNC. 2027 4-star running back prospect, I believe Rollsville High School, had been committed to UNC. We talked about this earlier a bit, and I missed a key part of the story. And I don't want to leave you hanging like that. First of all, follow High School OT, highschoolot.com. You can follow them on Twitter at highschoolot. There are colleagues here at Capital Broadcasting. Their cubicles are like catty corner to our cubicles. So they're doing a lot of work. They cover high school sports in the state of North Carolina extensively. They're all over the place. Amir Brown told High School OT last week, which, by the way, last week was kind of the real hornet's nest for UNC. All of the reports about dysfunction, there were not made by anyone at Capital Broadcasting, but there were reports that Bill Belichick had already gotten into conversations about buyouts and things with the higher-ups at UNC, which he has since completely said were false. Categorically false, the term he used. But in the thick of it, last week, Amir Brown told High School OT that he was, quote, 100% locked in with UNC. Now, I made this joke earlier off air, but, high school boy decided to change his mind? Never, right? He obviously isn't any longer 100% locked in. But I think that's what UNC is fighting against now, right? They could have a good relationship with a player, committed to your school, 4-star with options, chose you, and could be 100% locked in. And guess what's happening? I guarantee it. Guess what's happening? Their friends are going, you hear what's going on at your school? And their aunts and uncles are going, what's going on at your school? And they're going online, and fans and of other teams are sending every negative article right to those DMs. And it's I'm not saying that's why he moved, but I'm saying that's what I would be afraid of when it comes to recruiting at UNC. And you have to check up, you have to maintain those relationships because, call a spade a spade. The stories, the narrative around UNC's football program, it's not gumdrops and roses right now, right? There's some gravel. There's some coarseness to it, and you're going to have to overcome that to recruit a great team. You're going to have to overcome that, especially when really the one thing that Bill Belichick admitted in his Monday press conference as kind of like something that hasn't gone as he planned it since taking over is they got late to the recruiting game and he didn't get to build the relationships he wanted, and they didn't feel like, he didn't use these words, but I'm inferring he felt like they had to settle for a couple recruits. If that's the issue, you better get your studs this go around, because who knows how many go arounds you're going to get. And this is already a 2027 4-star decommitting.
He said they did the best they could.
They did the best they could. I'm sure that would have gone over well if one of the players told Bill. Gives up a touchdown, comes back. I did the best I could, coach. I'm sure that would go over just smooth, right? Coaches. That is number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us.
Carolina Panthers practice today. Dennis, do you want to give us the nuts and bolts of who practiced, who's hurt, who's back, who's limited, how's it going?
So the big news actually is outside linebacker, edge rusher Pat Jones. Done for the season. Lower back injury. Actually has to have surgery. Finished the game on Sunday. Woke up sore on Monday. Had some imaging done. Has to have surgery to end his season, unfortunately, for Pat Jones. So that is a big loss for the Panthers on defense. But he's the only player that didn't practice today.
Wow.
Sure enough. He's the only one. Jalen Coker, who's still technically on injured reserve on his 21-day window, was a full participant in practice today. Still coming back from that quad injury. Austin Corbett, who dealt with a knee injury that he suffered early on this season, his 21-day window just opened today. Full participant in practice with a knee injury. J.C. Horn, a little limited with the shoulder injury, but Taylor Moton, who missed last game with an elbow injury, he practiced today. Jatavian Sanders, who's working back from an ankle, practiced today. Tershawn Wharton, who's working back from a toe injury, practiced today. So a lot of guys that were out recently, including Chuba Hubbard, practiced today as well with the calf injury. So guys that have missed games recently are starting to get back in practice. We'll see, obviously, how they progress as the week goes along, but yeah, only guy that's not practicing is Pat Jones. I'm assuming they're going to put him on IR, but an IR move would allow Jalen Coker to come back, would allow a guy like Austin Corbett to come back. You don't have to worry about putting someone else through waivers.
I believe they released or put on waivers Travion Thomas.
Yes, they did.
Safety, which I anticipated being, there's Jalen Coker's roster spot right there.
Because they never called anyone up.
Yes, and now with Pat Jones, they might have an extra one to kind of that they did or didn't. Because Austin Corbett, his 21-day window opened up this week.
Yeah, today.
And if they follow kind of a similar path to what they did with Jalen Coker, they kind of open it up with the anticipation that not this weekend, but next weekend would be where they're available. So then they might have a roster spot to toy around with there a little bit. I mean, this is good news, right? I do think there's some, you got to question the execution of it all. But when you have things moving in a good direction, you're winning games, which let's not undersell that. They've won 3 of their last 4. They've won their last 2. And you have like the cavalry arriving, and you have reinforcements coming off of injured reserve. That's good, right? Now it's part of being a coach is you're gonna have to assimilate them back into the team without rocking the boat too much because things are going well. But that's first class problem, right? As my private jet takes too long to refuel. When it comes to, I know there's a national infatuation with the running backs because Rico Dowdle, basically in the last 2 weeks, has put him. He's the 5th leading rusher in the NFL. Total yards, not per game, not like in games that total yardage. He is the 5th leading rusher in the NFL. With Chuba Hubbard starting the first 4 games of the year. Here's my official take. I don't care who starts. I want Rico Dowdle to finish with more carries and more touches. If because this happens, right? It's the whole I don't care who starts, it's who finishes in basketball. I don't care who starts. I don't care who gets their name announced on the Jumbotron when you run through for home games out of the tunnel. I don't care who's out there for the first play. I think Rico Dowdle has shown that he has a burst that maybe Chuba Hubbard doesn't, and I value that. I value the ability to have a 50-yard run. I value the ability to catch the long touchdown. I value those abilities. So if Chuba Hubbard is a leader, if you want to keep him in the spot that he had prior to the injury and you want to put him out there for first down on the first drive, cool. My official take is I want Rico Dowdle to have more touches and more carries. How you divide it up beyond that, that's why you get paid the big bucks, Dave Canales. Don't mess up what you have going because it's working well. And Jalen Coker, I think, should be the number 2 wide receiver, but we'll break that down more in a little bit later on in the hour. About 5:45, we'll get into the wide receiver room. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
Go 1! Let's do that hockey.
The Canes won last night. It was a late night East Coast time. It was a 10 o'clock puck drop East Coast game because they were playing on the West Coast against San Jose. They won 5-1. 5-1. Do that more often. I like that. It was low stress and it was just fun goals for everybody. 13 different point scores. 12 of them had a single point. Logan Stankoven with 2 of them. And for more response, more reaction, we have our very own Adam Gold with something we call 2 Minutes of Gold.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I've got 2 minutes for 2 points that were provided by a 27-year-old guy making his NHL debut, and it's all brought to us by Parkway Sleep Health Centers. They'll help you get good rest faster and with the care you deserve. And the care Carolina deserved last night came in the form of 27-year-old NHL maiden voyage Brandon Bussey. stood on his head early and gave Carolina a chance to ease into it in San Jose.
As Gostisbehere with it, marked at the blue line by Skinner, and Skinner will come up with it. Skinner will break in on Bussey. Skinner shoots. Bussey with the toe save. Brandon Bussey with an outstanding save to keep this scoreless. Now send it out in front, and Bussey! Oh my goodness, with a huge save. Rebound picked up by Carolina. Brandon Bussey. Canes still need to clear, but what a save by Bussey to keep this scoreless.
Through 30 minutes of the game last night, Bussey, who the last 3 years has been a timeshare in the minor leagues in the Boston Bruins organization, had faced 7 high-danger scoring chances from San Jose, a team with offensive talent, a team that had yet to trail in any game this year, and Bussey turned aside all 7. It was incredible. The first half of the game was all about Brandon Bussey. Yes, Carolina finally got to their offense with Sean Walker and Will Carrier, and then this at the end of the second period.
Goodrow with it now. Trying to stuff it out in front. Bussey! Robbing Gaudette. And now Carolina setting this in. Robinson's onside. Robinson, he scores! A little backhander, and Eric Robinson, he stays red hot. His second of the season, and it's a 3-1 lead, Carolina.
From then, he could simply have ordered his post-game meal. The Hurricanes did not allow a shot on goal in the third period. Bussey didn't even have to wear skates. His NHL debut, 16 saves on 17 shots, and the game's runaway first star. Parkway Sleep Health Center. Sound sleep, sound health, sound off for a 27-year-old making his NHL debut.
The Brandon Bussey part of it is really cool. Goalie life is got to be brutal. What do you have, 111 AHL starts, something like that, and had to leave the organization that he was once one of their top prospects, and he ends up getting claimed off waivers, and then just 2 weeks later, he's starting an NHL game and making legit saves with some legit stars sharing the ice with him. That's a really cool moment for Brandon Bussey. And I know that the broadcast did a great job of showing his family there and everybody kind of enjoying it. But, what do they say? It takes a village to raise a to raise a child. It takes darn near a village to raise a goalie. It's not an easy life for people that care about the goalie, right? It's like kickers, pitchers. You put so much pressure on certain positions in sports. When a goal goes in, you're just crushed, and they've been living and dying with that for a while. And then he gets his shot and does well in the NHL.
He's older than Kochetkov by like a year. And he just made his NHL debut. And he played like that. Like, props, man.
Yeah. And then
props.
The first save he made, glove save, kind of coming right at him. He saw it the whole way, and he was a little shaky just like making the catch. And I was like, ooh, uh-oh, because it would be 200% approved. Like, it would be very realistic and very understood if he was a little tense, right? He'd been working his entire life, probably doubted if it would happen at times in his, darkest thoughts. And instead, I think it settled him. I think he was just kind of like, oh, all right, I made the save. Let me settle in. He made some legit saves, like some very good saves is what we'll go with. It would have been acceptable for him to give up more goals than the one he did. And then shout out to the skaters who said, you did really good. You did really well for the first 2 periods. We got it from here. And he did not face a shot on goal for the entire third period. 0 shots on goal, which I think I saw was the 8th time that the Canes have done that in franchise history. So that's solid on everyone else to go, you know what? We're going to score some more goals. We're going to give you some more insurance goals, but we're going to ensure you get the win and you don't give up another one here by not even making you face a shot on goal for the last 20 minutes. That's pretty cool. So shout out to Brandon Bussey and his whole family for having that moment yesterday. Can't take it away from you. I don't know how many times he'll be called upon this season. Hopefully not much if the other 2 goalies get healthy and play great. But You'll never get that first one to do over again. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Manor Service Company, and we will be grabbing numbers game contestants in a second. Manor Service Company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. I just said it takes a village to raise a goalie. In a lot of ways, it takes a village to make sure your house can stay up and running and doing all the things you need it to do. I'm talking the heating system running well, the cooling system running well, the plumbing being the plumbing that you can take for granted, right? Just knowing that the toilets are going to flush, the water is going to be hot when you want it to, and everything else. And, of course, electrical also under the umbrella of services that Manor Service Company can take care of for you. But when I say it takes a village, it truly does, and that's why Manor Service Company is so valued here in the Triangle. You've probably seen their trucks all over the place because they have so many highly trained, ready and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week technicians out and about, right? You've seen their trucks doing work, making sure people's houses are running correctly. Their service team back at the shop, and I got to tour their warehouse. They're doing a great job. Their management team, their training team, they employ entire positions whose only job is to train the technicians and learn what to train the technicians that go out and fix your home. So heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, Manor Service Company takes care of it all. And here's their phone number, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. Or visit them online at manorservices.com. That's MAYNOR services.com. Now we need numbers game contestants. Almost forgot. We have, for the winner, Seth Meyers tickets, doing his comedy thing at DPAC on January 24th. A pair of tickets goes to the winner of the numbers game. If you want to play, call in now, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. To play the numbers game, we need 2 contestants. Call in now, numbers game next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
He always makes excuses, and it's always somebody else's fault. That's who Tua has been through the 6 years he's been in the National Football League. Respect is earned, it's not given. I don't give a damn that you got a C on your chest and that you've been appointed the, quote, leader of the team from the coaches. In the NFL, if your locker room does not respect your quarterback, it's over, full stop.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois. CordellCordell.com.
I feel like I am special, that I'm receiving an award for being an athlete.
The Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month from 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union. To nominate your athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. Contestants for today, Brody in Youngsville and Hunter in Raleigh. The prize, Seth Meyers tickets coming to DPAC in late January. As always, we'll bring each contestant onto the show. I will ask them the same question. They'll give us an answer. Dennis will pick his favorite answer, and that person will get to go first. Brody, we'll start with you. Brody in Youngsville, can you hear me? Brody, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're breaking up a little bit, so if there's something you can do to get your connection better, I don't know, go stand on a hill or something. Try again. Say hello.
Yes, sir.
That was better. Okay, Brody, the question for today is, we were just talking about what it would be like to be a family member watching a goalie. So here's my question. You are a very close friend or a family member of a professional athlete. What would be the most stressful position for your family member or friend? It could be any sport, I guess professional athlete, but if it's like an Olympic sport or whatever, I guess it could be amateur, whatever. What sport and position would be the most nerve-wracking for your friend or family member to be playing at the highest level?
Oh, this is a tricky one. I'll keep it simple. I think ice hockey goalie is probably the one to be the most stressed.
Ice hockey goalie. Dennis, any follow-ups? Nope. All right, we're good to go. You're locked in, Brody. We'll go to Hunter and Raleigh. Hunter, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, same question to you. If you had a friend or a family member that was playing a sport, any sport at the highest level, and you had to watch and you were living and breathing with their success and failure, what would be the most nerve-wracking position they could play in any sport?
I think it would be, I'd say goalie in soccer.
Soccer goalie. All right, so they're very similar. Soccer goalie, and our previous answer was ice hockey goalie. So, Hunter, stay on the line. We'll see if you get to go first. Dennis, are you going ice hockey goalie or soccer goalie?
Hockey goalie. You just simply face more shots.
That's probably true, too.
Hockey goalie.
Was there another answer that they could have given that was jumping into your head?
I was thinking maybe starting pitcher, just because
yeah.
you don't in baseball. Maybe that's it, but that was probably the one. I'm surprised no one said quarterback.
Do you know what I was thinking? Golfer.
Oh, okay, yeah, every single shot.
Every shot, and also there's a lot of really embarrassing shots.
Yeah, there's
you
that
miss
too.
a short putt or you plunk one in the water when you shouldn't. It's like, oh no. And it can keep going, right?
Yeah, I feel like an isolated individual's position or individual sport like that, like tennis, I'm sure as well, could be the same type deal. Because sometimes in a team sport, you can be kind of, you know, if I'm playing like a left wing, like I can be like, all right, I'm in good position, you know.
The reason golf, like even tennis, you can say like, oh, my opponent was playing really well. Golf, it's like, no, that was just me.
It's just you?
It was just me out there. I messed up. Either way, so that means Brody in Youngsville gets to go first, and Hunter and Raleigh, you'll have your chance. Just stay on hold and hang out a second. Brody, are you ready to pick a category?
Yes, sir.
All right. NFL mid-October birthdays, NFL players that were at one point or another teammates of Marcus Mariota, NBA mid-September birthdays, or NHL Hurricanes only?
Let's do the NHL Hurricanes only.
All right. Give me 1 second. There's one player I need. Okay. 1 second. Just stay with us. All right. I am ready to go. I had to check a pronunciation just to make sure I didn't mess you up there. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There will be 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No, sir.
All right. I will give you I will say the team in this category, even though we know it, just to keep it fair timing-wise with the other categories. And with that cleared up, your time will start when you hear the horn. Jalen Chatfield, Carolina Hurricanes.
5.
Correct. Jesperi Kokaniemi, Carolina Hurricanes.
82.
Correct. Jeff Skinner, Carolina Hurricanes.
53.
Correct. Joey Tedorenko, Carolina Hurricanes.
Pass.
Jakub Nakladal, Carolina Hurricanes.
22.
Incorrect. Joey Tedorenko, Carolina Hurricanes.
34.
Incorrect. Jakub Nakladal, Carolina Hurricanes.
28.
Incorrect. Joey Tedorenko to Carolina Hurricanes. You were so close on Tedorenko. You got Chatfield 5. We would have also accepted 64. He's worn both. You got Kokaniemi 82. You got Skinner with 53. Tedorenko 33. You said 34. We needed 33. And Nikolaj, we were looking for 14. Those are the numbers we were looking for. You did get 3. So 3 is the leader in the clubhouse. Go ahead and stay on the line. We'll see if it holds up. That brings us to Hunter and Raleigh. Hunter, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL players with mid-October birthdays, NFL players that were at one point or another Marcus Mariota's teammate, or NBA mid-September birthdays.
Let's do the October birthday.
Okay, NFL players with mid-October birthdays. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No.
All right, you need at least 4 for the win, and I think that's all you need to know, so we will jump into it. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Jamal Adams, Las Vegas Raiders.
23.
Incorrect. Cordell Stewart, Pittsburgh Steelers.
54.
Incorrect. Jamal Adams, Las Vegas Raiders.
36.
Incorrect. Cordell Stewart, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pass.
Brandon Whedon, Cleveland Browns.
54.
Say it again.
54.
Incorrect. Jamal Adams, Las Vegas Raiders.
31.
Incorrect. Cordell Stewart, Pittsburgh Steelers. You were close on Jamal Adams. I don't know if you were you knew it or you were getting closer, if you were just throwing darts. But we were looking for 33 for Jamal Adams. Cordell Stewart, a.k.a. Slash, we were looking for number 10. And Brandon Whedon, number 3. Unfortunately, you didn't get any right, so that's not enough for the win. But hopefully you had some fun.
Thank you.
Thank you. Apparently mid-October birthday is not his forte. How did it hurt you that he didn't get Cordell Stewart?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
That makes me feel old. Cordell Stewart, you'd get if you were around. It was a thing. That means the winner is Brody in Youngsville. Brody, congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
We appreciate you, and you get Seth Meyers tickets at the Deep Pack for January 24th. So enjoy that. Just stay on the line, and Dennis will grab the info he needs to make sure you get your tickets.
Sound good?
All right.
We had a couple people on our YouTube live chat actually submit watching someone play a position would be the most nerve-wracking. Smokey says field goal kicker.
Yep, 100%.
Field goal kicker.
100%.
And both Houston and Casey both said cage fighter.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
Correct answer.
Yeah,
correct
that
answer.
might be the correct answer.
It's thinking differently, but thinking correctly is what that one is. Can you imagine? I mean, that's like one of the secret sauces, like the Rocky movie, is you had to watch Adrian watch Rocky, right? Yeah, or listen to the fights on the radio. Those are absolutely brutal. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Cage fighter is a good one. I should have said, like, barring physical harm, right? Because obviously anything you could get hurt doing. I guess it would be like high wire tightrope walker would be maybe more nerve-wracking than a golfer, because at least, golfer, you're not going to plunge to your doom. But that is a fantastic answer. And thank you to everybody that participates on the YouTube live stream comments. While you're there, if you haven't done so already, subscribe. We are up over 20,000 subscribers now, and that means we do have a pretty sweet giveaway that we are going to announce tomorrow. I've been told we can tell you it is an item signed by a Carolina Panther that we will be giving to one of our YouTube subscribers in honor of reaching 20,000 subscribers. So go subscribe now if you want to be in on that, and pay attention to all of our social medias. We'll be putting out a video announcing the prize and how you can win and what you have to do to be chosen. That'll be tomorrow. So you have a little bit of time here still to get subscribed. So 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Subscribe there, and you'll be taken care of. Also, download the app. Again, we're giving stuff away. There's Carolina Hurricanes against Florida Panthers tickets, I believe, the current giveaway for those of you that not only download the 99.9 The Fan app from the Google Play or App Store, but also register, right? You have to fill out your name, your birthday, and an email. The email is how we let you know if you won the tickets. So make sure that you give us an email that you check, because we can only wait so long before we say, all right, never mind, you don't win. We're giving it to someone else. And I don't want to have to do that. I would rather you win if you're the winner. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We are still going to talk about the Carolina Panthers wide receiver room, what they should do with Jalen Coker, what his role should be now that it appears as if he's likely to be healthy and activated for this weekend. And more importantly, what are you going to do once he's established? I get if you want to kind of ease him into it, but Jalen Coker is going to have a role in that wide receiver room. What should it be? We're going to have that conversation next, but first, Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my good friends over at Law Tigers. As a motorcycle rider, we always talk about this, in terms of sports as well. And I think this also applies to folks who travel and like to go on long-distance rides as motorcycle riders. Have a plan. Have a plan, almost like in sports. You hear a scouting report. You have a game plan going in. Well, if I'm going to make a long road trip out to the western part of the state of North Carolina and go ride up and down the Blue Ridge Parkway, well, have a plan in terms of where you're going to stop along the way. Maybe your bike takes a certain type of fuel, and there's only certain gas stations that have it. Have that planned out in advance. If you have to get off the highway because there's bad road construction, what's an alternate route? Maybe you get into a spot where you blow a tire or something along those lines. You need to pull off to the side of the road. Have those plans in place. Have those contingencies set, whether it's the gear that you carry, have the routes that you want to go, have a game plan going in before you ride. But if you are injured in a motorcycle accident, this is where Law Tigers steps in to help you. Give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Even before you contact the insurance company. Insurance companies, they want to give you the least amount possible, whereas Law Tigers, they're part of the motorcycle riding community. They know what your bike and your gear are worth, but most importantly, they understand the dangers of the road and what you're going through after an accident. Your case evaluation with Law Tigers, it's always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
We'll be back with more of The Drive, talking wide receivers, coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and as the Carolina Hurricanes shoot for their 8th consecutive playoff appearance, that's right, 8 in a row, that's not the goal, I should remind you. The goal is being, as Rod Brindamore likes to say, the last team standing. What do they need? Who will get them there? You know where you can find the answers on every episode of the Canes Corner podcast, live on YouTube after games, and wherever you get your podcast. Rate, subscribe, like, share, tell your friends.
This party's getting crazy. Are those mini horses? And there's a build-your-own fireworks bar? Heads up! Whoa, and they've got the new ultimate blowout scratch-offs.
Okay, now it's a party.
With $250, $500, and $5,000 prizes, the ultimate blowout scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery are exploding with wins. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 8.26. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
It's bow time. Fumbling the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
Adam Gold in studio with my man Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. All right, let's paint the scenario here. I need windows, but man, I don't have 3 hours to go through the process of deciding what I need, when I need it. Can you help at the Aluminum Company?
Absolutely. So first of all, when we come out to your house to look at your windows, typical window appointment may last 45 minutes, an hour. We're certainly not going to make a 4 or 5 hour commitment to talk about windows. We're there to help.
Serve dinner last time.
Right. Listen, my wife always says, I talk to my wife all the time when we have salespeople, whatever we're doing. And my wife, I tell her all the time, I can't stand salespeople. And she laughs. She's like, you are a salesperson. I'm like, well, the difference is I'm just having a conversation trying to help people get what they want. I'm not there to pressure you. You're just there to help you get in and out. And it's a pretty quick appointment. It's pretty efficient. So we're there to help you and make it quick.
I can vouch for that. The Aluminum Company of North Carolina, online at aluminumcompany.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. So the Carolina Panthers, their wide receiver room has really lived a life in the last 2 months. Remember when nobody wanted to trade Adam Thielen? He's been gone and quite honestly isn't doing that much in Minnesota. Remember when Hunter Renfrow was cut? That wasn't that long ago. Remember when Xavier Legette tried to pitch it to Rico Dowdle as he was thrown to the ground right before half and almost took him out of field goal range? That wasn't that long ago. That was like a couple days ago.
Rico called for it.
That's not an excuse.
Hey, he said Rico called for it.
I mean, thanks Rico for trying to take your the heat off of it. I don't care if Rico Dowdle was like threatening him. Like, I'm going to punch you in the face if you don't toss it to me. You go to the ground and you eat that punch. Like, you do not ever make that pitch ever. And that's, I don't care what your friends told you to do. You don't make bad decisions. Am I a parent talking to a teenager, or am I a coach talking to Xavier Legette? Either way, it's the same. It's the same. You don't pitch it when you're in the grasp. Learn that in Pop Warner. But my point is, the wide receiver room has gone through a lot. Jalen Coker was supposed to be a big part of this pass-catching group, right? I think Jalen Coker was actually the main reason why they were comfortable trading Adam Thielen. And then, ironically, after they traded Adam Thielen, between the preseason and the regular season, Jalen Coker got hurt and started the season on IR, and he hasn't even been activated yet. He was 21-day window to practice open last week, but he still hasn't been, technically taken off IR. I believe this weekend he will. I believe that's all their expectations are, that he will play this weekend, which leads you to this question. What's his role? And my answer is quite simple. I'm okay with a 1 week ramp up. Okay, if you want to knock the rust off, and this week he's a little less than what you hope he's going to be, meaning just less snap percentage and targets and all that, okay. After that, he's your number 2 wide receiver in my book. Tetairoa McMillan is like, it's T-Mac, a gap, everybody else, but at the top of that everybody else is Jalen Coker to me. If you have to get Tetairoa McMillan 8 targets or more a game, Jalen Coker's got 4. And there's no way in any words I can say on radio that anybody else has more than Coker. If Renfrow has 4, Coker better have 5. I think he's that kind of player. And I think he brings a different dynamic to that slot. If you have 2 wide receivers on the field, I think he's one of them. If you have 3, I want him in the slot. Probably the other outside receiver in a 3 wide receiver set is going to be Xavier Legette because of the speed, taking the top off. But that's how I look at the way this pass catching group can operate at its best. I want to be clear. There were points in time last year where Jalen Coker, and I'm not talking about like for a drive. I'm talking about like for a game, maybe for a stretch of games. He was the best player in that wide receiver room. Okay, don't forget what he was last year, and only remember kind of the resume, right? Yes, he's an undrafted free agent. Yes, he's in his second year, but he was one of the bright spots in a pretty down season last year. Let him, come. If it'd be one thing if he missed the first 5 games and Bryce was averaging 280 yards passing, and Bryson Tremaine had 3 touchdowns and a couple of big plays. It's not that, right? the passing game still leaves something to be desired. They've been winning, which is nice, but they haven't been as effective in the pass game or as dangerous in the pass game, I think, as you'd like to see. So bring Jalen Coker back and bring him back with intention. And be clear. Set expectations. Again, I'm okay with a 1-week ramp up. So maybe this is me telling you to like be my checks and balances here. If Coker plays and he has 1 catch for 8 yards next week, and he plays 25% of the snaps, and I come in on Monday ranting and raving about they didn't get Coker involved, I want one of you to say, wait, no, you're okay with 1. But if that happens the next week, I'll be upset. I will. I think he has a, similar to Tetero McMillan, although different, he has a quarterback-friendly skill set. He does not shy away from contested catches. He works friendly on crossers. He comes back to the ball well. I think all of these things are things that can help Bryce Young, which is what really, everybody in that room should be trying to do. And if this means, you're bummed because it means you're going to see less Renfro or less Bryson Tremaine, yeah, I mean, they're cool stories. But don't get me wrong, Jalen Coker is also a cool story. Right? It's not. This isn't like, going from the mom and pop shop to like the corporate greed conglomerate. No, this is going from one mom and pop shop to another mom and pop shop. Like, they're all good stories there. Bryson Tremaine came out of nowhere. Hunter Renfro thought he was out of the league. Jalen Coker came out of nowhere too, and may have thought he was out of the league when he was waived last year. So I'm looking for Coker to step up, and I think he can help in a big way. Because here's everything I'm thinking about for the Panthers offense. I'm like a doomsday prepper, right? Everything I'm thinking about for the Panthers offense is making sure they're as ready as they can be for the game when a team sells out to stop the run. It's going to happen. You don't run for 200 yards pretty much with the same guy in back-to-back games and have everyone else go, yeah, I don't know if we should make sure we're set up to stop the run here. No, everybody will be set up to stop the run, and at some point somebody's going to do it. And that's when you're going to need to be as prepared as possible to turn to Bryce and say, all right, this is on the passing game, and I think they will be much better equipped to do that if Jalen Coker is a big part of the passing game. And Jatavian Sanders hopefully will be back as well. I think he brings a different skill set to the tight end room as a pass catcher, although Tremble and Mitchell Evans have been good. I still think he brings a different skill set than those guys have brought while he's been out.
But like you said, good problem to have.
Yeah.
Good problem to have.
The cavalry is returning to a team that's winning. How about that?
Yes, some of our better guys are returning. That's good.
Yeah. And this happens like, the Chiefs have Rashee Rice coming off suspension. Like, it's a good thing for them, and it's a good thing for the Carolina Panthers, assuming that Jalen Coker is healthy, right? Because I assume he is, and he practiced last week in full, I believe, most of the week, and he'll probably be expected to do the same this week.
Yeah, he was full participant all week last week.
Did do a lot of scout team work. You can tell that because he wasn't wearing a jersey with his number on it. He was wearing a jersey with George Pickens' number on it, which maybe didn't do the best job getting him ready for George Pickens.
Maybe not.
But, hey, he's Jalen Coker. He's not George Pickens. Different skill set there. That's funny. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
By the way, real quick, yep. Jalen Coker practiced returning punts today, by the way, or fielding punts.
All right, put Jimmy Horn there. Which, by the way, I didn't mention Jimmy Horn's name yet. I still want him to be a part of the offense, but I have him in his own category. He's kind of a speed, different beast. He can play any of the positions, but just not like he's not in the base package for those positions. I do like Jimmy Horn, though. Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending, the home of the no-cost loan. And I know what you're saying. No cost? Yeah, right. No, I am right. No cost. No closing costs. Gordon Miller's been doing no closing cost loans since 1987. Miller Lending's been doing them for decades since they've been here in the Triangle, locally owned in Cary. And no closing costs means no closing costs. No surcharges, no third-party fees. They don't wrap it up in something else. You're not paying it and not knowing. No, it is zero means zero when it comes to closing costs at Miller Lending, which just gets you off on the right foot, right? For anyone that's bought a house, maybe knew more about it than I did. The first time, you budget it out. You got the down payment. Here you go. You go to closing, and they're like, all right, where's that big fat check for closing costs? And you're like, whoa, what? I already gave the down payment. We had it wired over. And they're like, yep, now you need this other bunch of money. Not at Miller Lending. At Miller Lending, they go, great. You're good. Sign here and here and here. You still got to sign 1,000 pages when you buy a house. But you don't have to pay closing costs, which is a nice little consolation prize. Give them a call, 919-447-3377, or visit them online, millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. We have Overdrive coming up next. We're starting off talking about the Carolina Hurricanes. Why hasn't Nikolaj Ehlers scored? Should we panic? That's part of the conversation coming up next.
He's supposed to have 10 goals already, Tim.
10 goals. They did play 3 games.
Yeah, he's supposed to have the hat trick plus 1.
If you would have actually
in each game,
we're going to do this in 40 seconds or less. If I would have told you through 3 games, Ehlers, Aho, Svech have combined for 0 goals scored, what are the chances you would have given me that they're 3-0?
I would have said 70%.
You still that would be 3-0?
Yeah.
Wow. Never mind. That didn't make the point I was thinking it was going to make. I thought if your best scorers, and in many ways, Jarvis obviously included, aren't scoring a ton of goals, I would be surprised that they're 3-0, but pleasantly surprised. And they are 3-0, and I'm pleasantly surprised. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, coming to a close. More of that reaction to their goal scoring or lack thereof. Coming up next on Overdrive. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
He always makes excuses, and it's always somebody else's fault. That's who Tua has been through the 6 years he's been in the National Football League. Respect is earned, it's not given. I don't give a damn that you got a C on your chest and that you've been appointed the, quote, leader of the team from the coaches. In the NFL, if your locker room does not respect your quarterback,